Ago.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. On this show, we bring you all the big news headline stories. We delve into it, and later on the show, we go behind the headlines to bring you some insights, some analysis, and of course, some education on what the stories are as far as the news is concerned. This is the day the Lord has made, and we rejoice and be glad in it. And on that note, I welcome you to today's show. My name is Jude Duncan. Show is usually hosted by Nana Tufo Boatin, and I happen to sit in for him during this period. Would remind you of some of the very important things happening. Of course, our Heritage Caravan took place within the past week. It was fun, it was exciting, it was filled with amazing memories, right? But even before that, we had our beautiful launch of our Heritage Month celebrations here at Channel 1 TV and CTFM, and of course that was a really colorful and an exciting ceremony as well. The month is ongoing. We are gearing up. We are having a lot more exciting things happen. Our on-air series where we get to remind ourselves of our tradition, our culture, our history, and even our future to an extent, right? Takes place every Monday to Thursday at 9 a.m. on radio during the City Breakfast Show discussions, and of course at 10 a.m. on Channel 1 TV, and when Philip and Chris Carter take over during the Breakfast Daily program, which I have started here today. So be reminded that the on-air series is ongoing. Today's conversation will focus on Ghana's independence and the colonial struggles, and it will be a part one of the conversation. But I will be hosting historian Kweku Dako Ankra. We are grateful to GCB Bank, GTP, Bethel Dental, and South African Airways for their amazing partnership to make this a reality. Grateful to them as always. So please do all to make a date with us today at 10 a.m. on Channel 1 TV for a conversation on Ghana's independence and the colonial struggles. As part of our Heritage Month celebration, we have for you as well the Back to Your Village Food Festival. What's all of this about? This is a unique experience, tailor-made to ensure that we all, go back to the foods, that tell our story, the food that makes us uniquely and proudly Ghanaian across the country, across the length and breadth of the country, from Gambaga to Accra. Every meal that makes us Ghanaian will be at the Back to Your Village Food Festival. It's taking place at the Afua Sutherland Children's Park from the 28th to the 29th of March this year, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. It promises to be fun, it promises to be exciting, and we are calling for vendors. Limited slots available. So if you are watching right now and you can make, some of these indigenous foods under the required, or using the required standards, please, you know what to do. Call the number on your screen right now, 0205 973 973, 0205 973 973, and the team will direct you as to what to do. But please, if you're watching and you want to be part of this, the doors are open. You don't have to pay anything to come through this event. All you need to do is to load your pockets, bring extra bowls if you want to send some home. Of course, we'll have sitting areas for the family, so you can sit and dine. Don't come alone, come with a friend, come with a loved one, and let's make merry as we celebrate our culture through food. Amazing. And talking about our food, we also want to remind you to keep patronizing Made in Ghana rice. Why is this so? Because we here at Channel 1 TV and CTFM believe strongly that a country that wants to be self-sufficient has to eat what it grows. And in the day and age where countries consistently, look inward as to how they can safeguard themselves and their interests from global shocks, we also have a responsibility to ensure that we are doing what we can to support our farmers and to ensure that our economy, is sustained. And one of the surest way is by patronizing what we grow, eating what we grow. So the Eat Ghana Rice campaign is on. It's Fresh Eats Ghana, and let's build the future together. Let's build a self-reliant Ghana, right? And that action or that vision can happen when we are only minded to patronize our own. So let your meal make the difference. Choose Ghana first. And the very simple way you can do that is by deciding, to be a supporter of everything made in Ghana, particularly Ghana rice, because we believe that it competes favorably with every other rice brand globally. And for that reason, we need to support this initiative. We are grateful to Agri Impact Limited, the MasterCard Foundation, and the 24-Hour Economy Secretariat for supporting this vision, right? And of course, Channel 1 TV and TTFM for being the brain power behind all of this. Amazing. Talking about the Eat Ghana Rice campaign, we also have for you our Channel 1 News app, which is live, active, and interactive on the Google Play Store. All you need to do is to take your phone, go onto your Google Play Store, search the Channel 1 News online. The app will pop up beautifully on your screen. You hit the install button, and with that simple step, you are good to go. Every big news headline as is reported, all the exciting interviews from Parliament, from the presidency, from everywhere. In fact, the programs we have here at Channel 1 TV and CTFM are all perfectly curated on this app for you so that you don't have to miss anything. So please do well to download the app, tell a friend about it. Don't stress having to now go and search the news from different angles, sometimes consuming news that is not credible, right? We have you sorted, your one-stop shop for everything news related, for everything information, education, and infotainment related. We've got you covered on the Channel 1 News app. So guys, we know what to do. The Easter Orphan project is also happening, and we're excited. By the grace of God, come April 6th this year, we'll be celebrating with orphans. We'll be celebrating with the less fortunate in society. What do we intend to do with them? We are going to feed, we are going to maintain, and we are going to support them. We can only do so through your kind benevolence. And like I will always say, we are so grateful to you, our lovely viewers out there, because each time we come asking with a request, you show up and you show with love, you show up with love. And we are counting on that benevolence again this month of April during the Easter Orphan Project. We believe that Easter is a time for reflection, it's a time for sacrifice, it's a time for love, right? And we are going to extend all of these values, all of these beliefs to the young children who don't have anybody catering for them. So your 100 CDs, your 200 CDs, your 300 CDs, your 10,000 CDs, if you want to even bring more, we'll be glad to take it on board so we can collectively put smiles on the faces of these children who have to endure yet another Easter without family around them. So thank you so much for heeding the call to be a part of this big initiative. God richly bless you. And having reminded you of all of these ongoing initiatives, and we have for you the rags and riches. And this is a Channel 1 TV documentary. It's airing today, the 12th of March 2026 at exactly 6:30 p.m. To focus on the dual impact of used clothing, what we usually refer to in our local parlance as obroni wewu. It's having significant environmental impact, and of course there are also other sides of it that we need to look at. So this interesting Channel 1 TV documentary would focus on the dual impact of used clothing in Ghana, and the time is at exactly 6:30 p.m. Amazing. So do all to be a part of this. And having reminded you of all of these happenings, I know you would do well to be a part of it, whether it's our Back to Your Village Food Festival, whether it's our Easter Orphan Project, whether it's our insightful documentary will be airing later today. I know you've kept your dial right here on Channel 1 TV. You've thrown the remote somewhere, amazing. I'll now delve into the big headline stories as reported by the newspapers. So many things happening from last night up until the morning. Big debates ongoing as to the 68 billion projected losses from the special audit report by the Finance Ministry, issues around the ongoing war and its implications for a full economy, and even the global economy, right, is ongoing as well. So we're bringing you some of these headlines, and I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Big front page story, and oil price spikes from Iran conflict, remove taxes on fuel to cushion consumers, and this is coming from analysts within the space. Also on the front page, Gao Manche, others meet King Charles at Commonwealth Day in London. Story on page 13 of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Moving on to the back page, Anyako Seva Water System commissioned, and that comes with a photograph of the Works and Housing Minister, Kenneth Gilbert Ejie, in the company of other dignitaries cutting the tape to open the water supply system. And victims of military operation in Ashaman sue state for justice and compensation. And these are the big stories on the front page and back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Moving on, the Daily Guide newspaper also have it here, the big front page story, minority quizzes government over U.S. airstrikes from Ghana. Comes with a photograph of the ranking member for the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament and Member of Parliament for Damongo, Samuel Abu-Jinapo, who was addressing the media yesterday. Mahama pushes for visa waiver with South Korea. That's also on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Also here, 2 Ghanaians injured in Dubai drone attack, and over 500,000 youth apply for security jobs. Story on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. We'll move on to the Chronicle newspaper, and they have today the word of the Lord as always. Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 14. Deuteronomy 13 verse 14. It says, "Then you shall investigate and search out and inquire thoroughly if it is true and the matter is established that is this abomination has been done among you." I take it again. "Then you shall investigate and search out and inquire thoroughly if it is true and the matter established that this abomination has been done among you." Amazing. Let me move to the news headlines now. Paramount Chief probes land guards activities in the Adan traditional area. Osahene Alexander Penyomark, the minority leader, is also in the news as he says no money for farmers, yet money for jets. Moving on to some other story. Government unveils watertight land reforms to boost revenue. Comes with a photograph of the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Yusuf Suleimana. U.S. strikes from Nigeria. U.S. strikes Nigeria from Ghana. This is a question the minority is demanding answers to. And on the back page, they have a nice photo story of the President Mahamad's visit to Lee Jae-myung of South Korea. So you can see the back spread of the Chronicle newspaper. It captures the story quite beautifully. Moving on to some other big headline stories. The Daybreak newspaper, they say freedom in truth. 85 million transit goods where the report day comes with a photograph of the Finance Minister, Dr. Keselato Forsen. Also here, Penyomarkin alleges sidelining in Parliament. The President is in the news as another Boku conflict looms in Sampa. Traditional leaders address media today. And also, lawyer sues GBA over young lawyers from elections. And these are the big stories on the Daybreak newspaper. The Herald newspaper is also reporting 68.7 billion arrears scandal rocks a Akufo-Addo regime. Parliament ordered to investigate falsified records and inflated claims. Also here, cancer fears over chemically ripened bananas flooding Accra and Kumasi markets, and the OSP changes course in MPA corruption case again. And these are the big stories reported by the newspapers. I'll take you now to some online portals. I'll start with citynewsroom.com. A lot of the big stories here as well. Slash fuel taxes if oil prices rise. That's coming in from Peter Corte, professor, speaking to government, and he's a former director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research at the University of Ghana. To some other story, Clock-SAG leadership boycotts NLC meeting. Promote agriculture to tackle youth job crisis. Nunu Mensah to government. Kabiru Tia Mahama. is in the news, and he's member of parliament for Wale Wale and also on the Finance Committee of Parliament. He says minority to support probe if audit findings verified. Moving on to some other stories. Minority demands briefing on Mohammed's chartered jet use. Kabir in the news again. He was on the Point of View show with Bernard Avle yesterday. He says Finance Ministry report on arrears and payables riddled with half-truths. 68 billion audit report focus on recovering stolen funds. Ata Issa, who is also member of parliament for Sagnarigu, was on the show with Bernard as well yesterday. And plastic in plantain chips, a myth. That's coming in from the Food and Drugs Authority, the FDA. Moving on, Ewutu Senya, spiritualist arrested for allegedly killing girlfriend, and 25,000 youth failed to attend security support job interviews. That's from the Minister for the Interior, Mubarak Mohammed Muntaka. Some other stories. Arbitrary assault. Court grants 10,000 Ghana cedis bail to Swedru School of Business students. Also here, IGP deploys special police team to Benyere after reprisal attacks. Councillor Lutrot granted 50,000 Ghana cedi bail. And to some sports stories, Iran withdraws from the 2026 World Cup over conflict with the US and Israel. I'll take you to channel1newsonline.com. The big story here. Motorway expansion and necessary evil. Engineer appeals to drivers. And of course, we have the story on the ongoing fuel-related matters, right? The girl says their system has been restored and the fuel loading is back on track. Moving on to some other stories on channel1newsonline.com. Ghana at risk following a Black West ISIS strike disclosure. That's from Asafo Eje Aye, who is a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. Wale Wale MP demands sanctions over 68 billion audit findings. 8-year plan launched to redevelop Cape Coast and heritage sites. And the FDA again in the news, as they say, plastic in plantain chips, rumors false and misleading. Protect Ghanaian peacekeepers in the Middle East, minority tells Israeli ambassador. And some other stories. Lack of jobs pushing youth into security service. Nunu Mensah is speaking there. And high pass mark necessary as over 500,000 apply for security services recruitment. Incredible. And we are being told that there are slots for just about 5,000 people. And you have over 500,000 people applying. It makes you wonder what the situation would be, even after all of the recruitment process is ended. We'll move on to some other stories. Doctors raises concern over rising hernia cases in Ghana. And finally here, Ghana has sufficient fuel stock despite global market concerns. We'll delve into this story properly when my guest join us for the discussion on the news headlines. I'll move on to the newscenter.com. The newscenter.com, big front page story, front online portal story. Iyoko freezes 50 million in Chemawun to me accounts. And also here, I'll contest Ablekuma South seat as MP if the story doesn't tell us all in the headline. And that's coming in from the dance hall king, Charlie Shatawali. MTN Ghana launches user-initiated swap service, SIM swap service, and telecoms, utilities, retailers to feed national credit database. That's coming in from the Bank of Ghana. Over 500,000 youth chase 5,000 security jobs. And finally, Ghana condemns drone attack in Dubai that injured 2 nationals. I want to take you now to the foreign front. There's so much happening. Yesterday, some oil storage facilities in Oman, had been blown apart as part of the ongoing Middle East tensions. Some oil carriers on the Strait of Hormuz as well was also burnt to ashes. We've now seen some drone attacks by Iran in certain parts of Israel. The war seems to be escalating despite assurances by the US president that the war is scheduled to end soon. And the CNN is also reporting a lot with regards to this ongoing war. The big story here on CNN, prices surge past $100 per barrel, despite historic release of reserves as conflict escalates on multiple fronts. Also here, U.S. strike likely hits coup in Iran due to outdated intelligence, sources say. There's an analysis of Russia's involvement in this ongoing Middle East escalations, right? And the CNN say in a cruel twist, Trump's Iran missteps could fuel Putin's war machine. Moving on to some other stories, and they have the latest statement by Trump on Iran saying that we've won in Iran. To some tech news in relation to the war, fake AI videos of Iran war spreading, and this is on CNN as well. So these are the big stories here. Iran targets oil facilities and tankers across the Gulf. Let me take you to the BBC before I delve into some of the stories briefly, and would also subsequently move for the discussion. Okay, the BBC also have here some oil tankers set on fire amid ongoing Middle East escalation. Oil price reaches $100 per barrel again as new attacks reported on 3 cargo ships in the Gulf. China's biggest political meeting is ending. What have we learned? This is an article on the BBC. War in Ukraine spills into Hungarian election campaign. Head chef resigns from world-famous restaurant Nomad amid abuse allegations. Bodies of 2 Chinese backpackers found in Australian floodwaters. And in the UK, their Prime Minister Keir Starmer is in the news as he warns of reputational risks over the Mandelson-Epstein links. And files show that. And of course, also here, oil price jumps despite deal to release record amount of reserves. And finally, the U.S. Secretary of War, formerly Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, brings combative style as face of Trump's war in Iran. And these are the big stories ongoing here. And of course, for those who love their football, yesterday was a humbling for some teams, particularly Manchester City. They collect 3 and they've not really been the same since. So yeah, the Champions League took place, a lot of games. Arsenal drew with Leverkusen, and Chelsea also had a hard-fought game, against PSG, but they didn't win. Then of course, Real Madrid lost. Manchester City lost woefully against Real Madrid, but there was some signs, right? Because we saw our Ghanaian international Antoine Semenyo make his debut in the Champions League, making him the first player to play across all 4 divisions or all 4 leagues in England and end up playing in the Champions League as well. Wish him well for achieving this new milestone. I'll bring you excerpts of some of the stories the newspapers have reported. We'll take a break and we'll come back. So we'll start off with the attack on 2 Ghanaians injured in a drone attack in Dubai. Story on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Excerpts of it read, story by Jibril Abdul Razak. 2 Ghanaian nationals have been injured in the United Arab Emirates following a drone incident in the vicinity of the Dubai International Airport yesterday amid ongoing regional tensions in the Middle East. 2 drones fell near the Dubai International Airport, injuring 4 people. International media reported yesterday the injuries to the 2 are not critical, and the injured have been sent to the hospital where they are said to be recovering. This incident happened just few days after 4 Ghanaian soldiers serving with the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon were injured after a double missile strike hit the Ghanaian battalion base amid escalating hostilities along the Lebanon-Israel border. The Ministry for Foreign Affairs in a statement said the government of Ghana strongly condemns any act that endangers civilian lives and critical infrastructure. And this is the quote: "Such incidents pose serious risks to the public safety and underscore the importance of ensuring the protection of civilians and vital international transport hubs," it said. The statement pointed out Ghana's ambassador in the United Arab Emirates has led a delegation of the embassy in Abu Dhabi and the consulate in Dubai to visit the 2 injured Ghanaians in the hospital. And these are the story as reported, except of the story as reported by the Daily Guide newspaper. Still on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper, and a story we'll be later discussing on the show today. Over 500,000 youth apply for 5,000 security jobs, and that was disclosed in a press briefing in Parliament by the Minister for the Interior, Mubarak Muntaka. Excerpts by Ernest Kofi Edu reads, more than 500,000 Ghanaian youth have applied to join the country's security services, which highlights the intense demand for employment opportunities among young people. The Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak, revealed. According to the Minister, a total of 506,618 applications were received when the recruitment portal for the various security agencies closed, far exceeding the number of available positions. The story goes on to say, speaking to the media in Parliament yesterday, Mr. Muntaka said the Ghana Police Service alone received more than 130,000 applications, despite the current strength of the service standing at about 49,000 officers from the Inspector General of Police to the lowest rank. He disclosed that the Ghana Immigration Service had attracted the highest number of applicants, with over 180,000 young people seeking to join the service, even though its present workforce is about 18,300 officers. Similarly, the Ghana National Fire Service received 124,000 applications, while the Ghana Prison Service recorded about 71,000 applicants. Despite the overwhelming interest, the Interior Minister explained that the government can only recruit about 5,000 personnel in the first phase of the exercise due to fiscal constraints and the current economic situation. He said that the limited recruitment capacity is partly linked to the nation's economic recovery program and the need to manage the public sector wage bill responsibly. So, these are excerpts of the story. We'll be delving into pretty shortly. Of course, we'll also look into issues around the US-Israel attacks on Iran and how it's now affected the global economy, particularly issues around fuel and some other stories later on today's edition of the Breakfast Daily News Review segment. We'll be right back after this break. My name is Jude Duncan, sitting in for your regular host, Nana Tufo Boateng. Don't go away.
Ago. Channel 1 TV documentary, Rags and Riches, explores the unfolding challenge of thrift clothing by examining the entire value chain, from international clothing exports and local importers to market traders, consumers, and waste management systems, revealing the economic, environmental, and social implications of the global second-hand clothing trade. Watch Rags and Riches on Thursday, the 12th of March at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
This Easter, as homes fill with laughter, shared meals, and love, pause for a moment and remember a child who has no one to celebrate with. Across Ghana, children in selected orphanages are hoping for care, hoping for comfort, hoping for kindness. You can be the reason a child smiles this Easter. Support the Easter Orphan Project 2026. Your donation in cash or in kind will provide warm meals, clothing, school supplies, and essential care for their well-being. Send your mobile money donation to 0550-900-006 or write a check in the name of the City FM Foundation. You may also bring your donation to Channel 1 TV in Tesano, Accra, Ghana. You can donate milk, sugar, rice, toys, books, or detergent. For more information, visit www.citynewsroom.com or call 0550-900-006 or 0302-226-013. The Easter Orphan Project comes off on Monday, 6 April 2026 and is powered by 97.3 City FM with support from Channel 1 TV. This Easter, let your kindness light up a child's life.
energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM. Sweeter Secondary School invites all alumni and stakeholders to the 67th anniversary and homecoming celebrations. It's happening from Friday the 20th of March to Sunday the 22nd of March 2026. On Friday, How I Got There, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Year groups check-in and roll call. Gary Soaking's competition. Cadet course ceremony from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. All students convoy. Drive to Suesco, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Candlelight procession from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Welcome cocktail with alumni and staff of the school. Meet and greet with Compa Band performing live at the forecourt of the school complex from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, speech and prize giving day from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All year groups lunch from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Alumni dance party from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Sunday, anniversary Thanksgiving service at 8 a.m. A great opportunity to reconnect with your old mates. Contact your year group president now. Semper Cum Optimus, always with the best.
On this happy trip back.
As part of Heritage Month 2026, we bring you the On-Air series, Our Culture, Our Story, Our Identity. In week 1, the sound of our identity.
A great one from the legend himself, Charles Kojofosu.
In week 2, Our Past, Our Power.
So the African personalities idea first and foremost started somewhere in the 1890s by a movement called Gonfanti movement.
In week 3, Faces of the Nation. In week 4, What We Eat, Who We Are.
A typical Fanti palm nut soup is a United Nations.
Is it soup?
Yes, a United Nation soup. So you have fish in there. I will not make palm nut soup unless I have periwinkle.
The Heritage On Air Series 2026, Our Culture, Our Story, Our Identity will air every Monday to Thursday on 97.3 CDFM at 9 a.m. and on Channel 1 TV at 10 a.m. The Heritage On Air Series 2026 is proudly sponsored by JCB Bank, GTP, and Bethel Dental. A Channel 1 TV documentary, Rags and Riches, explores the unfolding challenge of thrift clothing by examining the entire value chain, from international clothing exports and local importers to market traders, consumers, and waste management systems, revealing the economic, environmental, and social implications of the global second-hand clothing trade. Watch Rags and Riches on Thursday, the 12th of March at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome to the Health Quarters Ghana, where medical science meets everyday life. Join Dr. Gideon Assan and the irrepressible Clemento Suarez as they tackle health issues.
My name is Dr. Gideon Assan. I have with me here my co-host, Clemento Suarez.
I knew how it felt anytime I started to feel the pain.
Whether it is hernia, breast cancer, cataracts, or infertility, the show brings together victims to share their real life stories and experts to debunk myths.
If you wear cotton supporter, and they be a pampers and a benwa or bosom. So you see, instead of it being raw egg, I done it because you don't know.
Make a date with us every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Channel 1 TV. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and all social media platforms at Health Quarters Ghana.
This is the Upside Out Show. This is the Upside Out Show. This is the Upside Out Show. Your favorite lifestyle show on TV. From exclusive interviews with your favorite personalities.
The child in me sometimes is quite predominant.
So hold on.
I hope you understand. And people misinterpret that. I'm a very calm person.
Okay. What's been keeping you busy now?
Staying out of trouble. That's keeping me busy.
So behind the scenes secrets that you haven't seen or heard anywhere else. Aha! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Here on the Upside Down Show is where it all happens. Today, people don't care about morals, people don't care about intentions, people don't care about anything. Your money can buy you any and everything.
But you will not last.
Really?
No, you will not last.
But then the person see the dead body.
I thought we'll catch you.
More, you people.
Catch the Upside Down Show every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Ago.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is Jude Duncan. Just one by, I brought you the big headline stories as reported by the newspapers and the online portal. For purposes of discussion, however, today on the show we'll be focusing on the ongoing recruitment process with regards to some selected security services, not all of them. Some of them under the Interior Ministry, conducting this recruitment. A lot of issues have arisen, particularly over 500,000 applications and just a little over 5,000 slots available. Do the maths. Is it realistic? Brings to the fore again so many issues around youth unemployment, and other matters of national importance and national security concerns as well. But before I introduce my guest and delve into the conversations, we've had a birthday wish from a very special person, so we want to do that very quickly before we go. So, Mr. Malik Andor. They say, happy birthday to the one who makes my world spin. You mean everything to me, and I'm so grateful to call you mine. I love you more than words, deeper than actions, and bigger than any moment. Today and every day, I commit to loving you fiercely, supporting your dreams, and laughing with you in the messy moments. You are stuck with me. Here's to forever with you, and I love you, my love. That's from your wife, Dr. Mrs. Juliana Akushika Andor, Phoebe, Audrey, Charles, Michelle, the Akwe and Andor families. To you, Mr. Malik Andor. Happy birthday to you, sir. Amazing. Moving on. I have joining me in studio a regular on the show, needs no introduction. He's currently the coordinator for the District Road Improvement Program, Honorable Ni Lante Vanderpoel. Sir, good morning and welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, Jude. How are you?
I'm amazing. I hope you're fine.
I'm blessed.
Last week when you were on the show, the war had heightened. The US, Israel, Iran war, but now it's reached different levels. Yeah. We'll be discussing it later on the show. But we'll start off with a conversation that you are pretty much interested in as well. I know you talk about security issues a lot. If outside of football, it's probably the second conversation you usually will talk on. Yesterday, the Interior Minister, or the Minister for the Interior, Mubarak Muntaka, held a press conference in Parliament, flanked by his deputy. In fact, the Energy Minister was also there with him, and he spoke on the ongoing recruitment process. I want to hear your thoughts, your initial thoughts on all that transpired yesterday?
Well, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our viewers and to all of us here. I listened carefully to his statement, and I've also observed the reactions of certain people, especially majority of our party people, functionaries, and also the grassroots. And let me say that it's mixed feelings for me this morning. Yes, Ghana has become a country where unemployment is soaring. And the only, let me say, leverage for most of our youth is the security services. They find comfort in applying to go into the security services because they feel that getting other jobs is quite difficult because of the sort of conditions that are required. And sometimes the sort of qualifications that are required. Not too many people will want to have degrees and then go to the security services. That one is reserved for officers. But when you take the ordinary ranks, basically JHS or SHS, and majority of our youth will want to find that way in order to start earning some salary, because a lot of them coming from backgrounds where it's difficult sometimes for parents to be able to meet their demands. Sometimes the difficulty they have is even continuing their education. So some people even want to divert into the security services. Whilst they're in the security services, will try and continue their education. So it has become the most, let me say, preferred destination for most of our unemployed youth. Over the years, there has been lack of transparency in the recruitment of people into the security services. We had cause to complain about it in Parliament. There was even a motion for an inquiry into how people were recruited into the various security services, and also the defense, the military over the years, because it was quite worrying. The partisanship, the corruption, and the favoritism involved in the recruitment of people into the services made it so clear to the NDC during the campaign. And John Mahama promised that we're going to be sure that nobody is disadvantaged and everybody will have a level playing field so that we'll have good representation. There were cases where people think that, or people thought at that time, that the recruitment into a security service were biased. And people were favoring people from their particular jurisdiction as against the rest of the country. So people became keen in trying to find out how these things could be done well. And I think the model we introduced this time was good. It opened up for everybody. Every Ghanaian can apply. It's online. So you cannot see the face or the nose or the ears of somebody to say that because of your nose or your ears, I'm not going to take you. So it was clear that it was opening up a lot of opportunities to many more Ghanaian youth. Unfortunately, the number of places available is not huge enough. If you're looking at situations where we have close to about 750,000 people applying and the opportunities for only 5,000, then you should know many people will be disappointed. Many people will be disappointed. And the process is so, transparent. You go, everything is online. You'll be told whether you've gone through the first stage, go to second stage, do this, do that. Everything is between you and the agency or the particular service doing the recruitment. And last minute when you are disqualified, you are also giving information to the fact that you have been disqualified and the reason why you were disqualified. My own nephew, my direct brother's son, have been disqualified.
From the process?
When I find out, they said he was overweight. You understand? He's overweight when he went to the medical. And what can I do about it? I have to take him back home, let him work on his weight, and apply next year because he will be qualified. He's very young. So it's clear that the process will definitely not give people the opportunity to use the way it's been done in the past. people were actually selling
the slots.
The slots.
Do you
political apparatchiks were selling the slots?
And that's what I was coming to, as to whether maybe the political class should take a chunk of the blame, because we hear you on the campaign sometimes. In fact, I recall during the past vetting of the late former defense minister, you know, the minority leader at the time, you know, said to him, the fact that I'm grilling you doesn't mean you should deny me some slots. And it generated some level of public fury, because then it brought to the fore again issues around, oh, so politicians actually have slots reserved for them. We were in Parliament for many years. Was this the case where MPs had some slots in these security services for their constituents?
Yes, let me say the truth. The truth was that when there are times when recruitments are being done, you know, it definitely will have to come to Parliament. Parliament has to be informed. And so the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament sometimes made representations on behalf of members of Parliament. So maybe they will say all members of Parliament should bring one slot. You understand? So that is about 275. So and then a particular person. But in the 8th Parliament, we had cause to complain. Names were taken from us, not even one. Were taken from our side, the minority, and we complained. And when we complained, we found out that somebody from the other side used our names to take the slots and give it to their people. And that's why we experienced it. That's why we thought that this particular method will cut down on those things. In the sense that even when you're a member of Parliament and you have been given a slot, the only way the person can get recruited is for the person to go through the process. You understand? You'll be given a slot, but then the person must qualify. So it will not be the case where, as we saw in the past, where people, recruitment that is supposed to be, the age limit should be about 28, 27 or 32. Somebody is 60 years and he had gone through. Somebody and the son and the grandson all went through in the past. You understand? So this one has limited the opportunities that people have to corrupt the system.
Okay.
But it's also disadvantaged a lot. Let me say this, and with all apologies, we saw what happened under the former regime in the recruitment. I was a member of Parliament.
What happened?
So many of these things happened. It was fraught with, you know, let me say corruption. It was fraught with discrimination, all sort of things. So this time, our party supporters, our grassroots, also thought that this opportunity for them to also be given the chance. No, protocol. That's what is used, the word protocol. Unfortunately, the system that has been adopted, and I say that the system is making it highly impossible for us to be political in this recruitment exercise.
The system the NDC administration have put in place.
Yes. Makes it almost impossible for us to be duly political, partisan in the recruitment exercise.
What are the new reforms you instituted that make it?
For example, it's simple that you go onto a portal and the portal will not ask you which party you belong to. The portal will not ask you who is your father. You understand? So it's free. Everybody put in information. The system work on the information you put in. When you are not qualified, the system right there will make it clear to you are not qualified. Your name is deleted.
As someone who follows security issues keenly, I'm sure you've heard concerns around the alleged AI aptitude test questions asked. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, you see, my problem with those things is that I have no evidence of it. I didn't go to the portal to, so people say, because sometimes the questions... That's the difficulty. When my nephew came, I asked him the questions that were asked, and he told me they were simple questions. Simple questions. One of the questions he said was, what is the name of the chief of defense staff? You understand?
For somebody who wants to enter the
that could not be that could not be an AI question. You understand? So it's there. But then you see, I think that right from day one, there must be a good conversation between us and our party structures for our people to understand that in building this country, we cannot continue to do the wrong thing all the time.
Thank you very much.
And as such, this is the process that's going to be adopted. It will not be pleasant, but it will help us build a strong society. It will also bring better, stronger institutions that is devoid of discrimination. It's a sacrifice the party people must make. And once we had that conversation with the party supporters, I think they would have understood it better. But now, it's like we know what happened under MPP. Why? We are in government and we are being denied and being disqualified.
Honorable, I think your point has been made, but I'll come back to you on your calls for reset, right? You touched on it briefly, but your calls for reset and also satisfying the grassroots, right?
Yeah.
And the need to have only competent people in our security services. But we've been joined by Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, who is a former CEO of the Environmental Protection Agency, also a key follower of issues around security. Sir, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
I hope you are well.
Very much so.
Yes.
Last week we met.
Yes, sir.
Here,
yes.
on this table.
Yes, sir.
With Honorable.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I hope you are well.
Very much so.
Great. We are discussing the security services. There's an ongoing recruitment. Your party and its minority leader in Parliament, you know, they've accused government of not being candid with Ghanaians with the ongoing process. Of course, we also remember the unfortunate incident at Burma camp where some lives were lost as a result of the process. But government tells us that because of the level of transparency they've put this time around, we are seeing a lot more Ghanaians show interest, hence the overwhelming numbers in terms of those who want to come into these services. What are your initial thoughts on those claims?
Well, good morning to your cherished viewers. First of all, let me extend my condolences once again to the victims of that armed forces recruitment exercise. That girls, we lost the lives of girls, females, and it was quite appalling. We did not know whether those who got injured are okay now, but we continue to pray for them. That going forward, how many people applied?
We have been told over 500,000 for fire, police, immigration.
And
prisons.
And then how many are to be recruited?
A little over 5,000.
So you see how we've succeeded in institutionalizing criminality, extortion from the ordinary poor people. These are poor young people of Ghana who, through no fault of theirs, are eager to help, serve their countries in those various capacities. And the institutions do know how many people that can be absorbed. Yet we go ahead and advertise and encourage these young poor people to pay, or they don't pay. How much do they pay?
I know.
Find it for me, please.
They pay.
I want to know how much was paid by each one of them, and let's do the calculations. Then we will come to understand why some of us think the system is so corrupted that it is prepared to extort monies from the poor ordinary, the cocoa farmer, whose son or daughter or dependent will want to go into these services. Just let us look at that and see. Maybe you are talking about protocol lists. Have you touched on that?
Yes.
You haven't touched on protocol lists.
Honorable mentioned briefly that in Parliament they had slots.
No, call it protocol list. Parliament has protocol. The list will be there. Jubilee House protocol. Whatever. So if it is 5,000, I can assure you 4,000 slots will go into protocol. So the poor child from Amakrum or Mredane, where my cocoa farm is, will be left to compete for that 1,000 slot with as many as 500 or 400,000 people. So we can imagine. This is a systemic failure. This is a state failure. I mean, he's trying to, the previous government, blah, blah, blah. Which government started with the Fourth Republican Ghana? It is NDC. You wrote the Constitution. You pride yourself with writing the Constitution. And you started and began with this recruitment exercise from day one. And you've been in government over and over and over. So if there is a... Please. So if there is a canker within the society system, you are the first to be blamed.
How?
Of course, because you set bad precedents.
How?
And it's been followed up to this point.
The Constitution does not tell us how to recruit people into the security services.
I'm coming. But the security services and their acts and everything tells us how they should do it. So they are doing it without principle. So who set their own regulations? So who set those regulations?
The institutions.
The institutions. Under whose government? Whose watch? I'm coming.
But haven't you had Kufuor and Nado?
That is what I'm saying. That is why you could have done better without trying to...
That's why we are doing better.
Please.
Now.
Please. No. I'm saying that you could have done better without imputing blame on a particular government.
No, but that's why I said we are now correcting.
No, we're correcting what? You started the rot. You began the rot with when we were ushered into 1994. 1993.
But Honorable, what do you have to say to critics who feel that all of these issues you are describing worsened during the past 8 years under your government?
It is not true. It even got better when digitalized systems were introduced. Which government introduced the digitalization you are talking about? The online. I'm coming. Which government introduced the online system where you go onto the portal?
It was there before you came?
No.
Oh,
no.
You mean Ghana went into digitalization?
Please, you even said
in 2017.
You even said that. And yet the digitalization, I prefer.
It shouldn't be a priority.
I prefer Kenke to digitalization.
Yes,
you said that
it shouldn't be a priority.
So it wasn't your priority. So
I'm saying that the fact that it's not a priority doesn't mean we didn't introduce it. 2017, did digitalization start in 2017 in Ghana?
So let me have my bite.
Let me have my bite. Let him just
let me have my bite.
But before you even finish your point, there's an article I've just seen here, right? Dated November 2022, and the headline is "Minority at the time condemns recruitment into security services." Of course, government denied the allegations, but they said that some soldiers were entering the military having not even gone through medical processes. And this is 2022.
Listen. You know of 2022. You don't know what was said 1990. What is it? 20. When did we start? 1996, 1992, 1995, coming 2000, up to 2000. You don't know what was said. Maybe you were still in JHS.
but you don't know my age.
I don't know. But exactly. That's why I said maybe. I chose my words carefully. That's why I said maybe. I don't know. And I don't.
Please go ahead and make a point.
You see, the canker began from somewhere. And that's why I began by saying this is state failure, institutional failure, something we must deal with it. If, for instance, during the previous government's recruitment exercise was fraud with all those things you're talking about, and to cure the canker, all you had to do is to encourage 500,000 youth of this country to go on to this application, collect their monies, knowing very well that we are going to take only 5,000. Is it not robbery? Is it not daylight extortion institutionalized by the state? I mean, what are we doing to ourselves?
Let me ask a simple
question.
No,
but don't ask me. You are not. You don't have the mandate. He is here, and he's satisfied with what happened. Is it not so? That is your correction. Please, let's do the calculation. Somebody should help me. How much was being paid by these kids?
No, they were not paying it significantly. It's only buying this thing. That gives the opportunity to go
even if it is one city, if it is one city,
yes,
we are talking about 500,000 Ghanaians. Yes. So cumulatively they will pay 500,000 cedis. So these state institutions will be richer by 500,000 cedis.
No, it's a system that we are using.
They
pay to enter the system.
Somebody is being paid the system. The system is not for free.
Yes.
Maybe you had a contract to supply that system and whatever. So you are being paid. If I had a contract, I will be paid by the poor person. That's the thing
Dr.
we must
Kokofu,
establish.
Thank you very much.
No, don't thank me, because you see, these are youths who were promised business, jobs opportunities, to the extent that it's on tape. One NDC guy said, if we come to power, if President Mahama wins the elections, and you go to any institution and you looking for a job, and they ask you to bring certificate, slap the person there. I can show you.
Who said it?
It's not on my phone.
No, if you can't
please,
say, if
please
you can't say,
get me.
No, if you can't mention, the person who uttered the words, then you have to.
As for NDC,
you have to hold on.
You see, as for NDC, they have so many people to tell those stories. Don't forget about this guy I'm saying. They said, don't forget about LGBT.
No,
they are capable of saying anything. I said, I will find it for you. I'll fish it out. And you play it.
Until you find a person, maybe just say you want to rephrase the point you
I will not rephrase. That is it. It's verbatim.
But you've not showed us.
I will show you before we leave here. And I want you to show to the entire
I'll be waiting on it.
Yes.
Let me come to you. I've heard members of your government to an extent say that government should be candid with those who didn't get into the recruitment or didn't get to the services and refund them. The director of operations at the presidency, Mustafa Gbandi, who's the deputy general secretary of your party, has made those calls. What are your thoughts on that?
You see, Jude, let's all understand one thing, that even if the system was going to recruit a person, it will be open for people. So more than one person will apply. You get me? Even if it is 10 people, it will be opened publicly. Unless you want us to use our own desires. So go and pick 10 people. Go and pick 20 people. But if we want to be transparent, we want everybody to have an equal playing field, every Ghanaian to have access to the system, then even if we are looking for 10 people, more than 10 people will apply. It's a principle we must all understand. And once more than 10 people will apply, it means that more than 10 people will be disappointed. You get me? So as for the disappointment, is there. Maybe it's the quantum that has become a problem, because we're looking for 5,000. So maybe let's say that as soon as we sell 10,000 forms, let's stop it. You understand? And go through, and the next time we can also open up for another 10,000 slots.
The quality of people you are looking for is not in that 10,000.
So then you can make provision for another recruitment. You understand? I'm looking at improving on the system. So for example, let's say that we are looking for 5,000. So we open up. Because we are using a system, the system, as soon as it gets to 10,000, should be closed. Then we go through that 10,000 people who have applied. When we have gotten our 5,000, fine. If we don't get the 5,000, then we'll open the system for other people to apply. That means that we'll be sieving out slowly and not that huge number.
Interesting.
Secondly, let me say this. The truth of the matter is that that's why the minister has come out and is being candid about the process, is being candid about the numbers, and he's not... Look, yesterday when I heard him, to some extent I wasn't happy, because I was thinking about my grassroots. I was thinking about the thousands of young men and women who were all over the place in the pickups, some of them being beaten, some of them being assaulted, and the rest across the country, who were hoping that we will also do what was done previously by giving them an opportunity to enter, no matter the qualification. Like my brother Tukovu said, we will also use protocol to just swarm the numbers in. They are disappointed. Yes, I understand. But that's why I said that maybe in restructuring the system, resetting the system, we should have engaged them more to let them understand the process. So that if I'm not qualified from day one, I know I'm not qualified, I will not even apply for it in the first place. But the engagement was not done adequately. So people went in with the thought, the mind, the aspiration that they were going to go through just as others went through. Let me tell you, one boy came to me, stronger, he was an agent in my constituency. And all that he's looking for is to go to immigration. He has a degree from UPSA. his own house, his cousin, previously, could not even finish SHS. But because there is somebody who is a very strong person, a whole director of operations at the presidency at the time, within that family, he got recruited. The guy got recruited. And today, he, with his degree, qualified everywhere.
So you admit politicians have to take some of the blame because you sold castles in the sky.
I agree perfectly that we influence the system. That's why today we have a system which is devoid and will not permit individual interference. The system is there, but just that we all agree that the numbers have become too huge, that many more people want to enter. Many more people would be disqualified. Many more people will be disappointed.
I'm sure those watching now are now interested in what the solutions are.
Yes.
The problem has been created across the political divide, across the table, we believe so. It happened in NDC, it's happened in MPP, and we need to fix that. So,
but we are fixing it.
You ask for this, and you have it.
So this is
Listen.
What, I've seen it.
Listen, no, you haven't seen. You ask for it. I want the public to know
how.
Because I made a statement. You wanted the proof, and I've given the proof. Yes. The public, the listeners, the viewers must know.
Across the table, we agree that
no.
It happens across both divides.
Joshua Kamba is no more a government.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
It's not a
Baba, now you know Joshua Kamba did it. You know, and he's an NDC organizer before.
He mentioned the name.
He's an NDC member.
Yes. And he said,
let's move on. I think across the table.
Oh, Mr. Producer, please help me.
Yes, across the table. No, I'm having.
They are intimidating me. Please, producer, come to my rescue.
Sit on TV saying that he has sent over 7,000 people into the security.
So you give a proof.
Thank you.
You prove it.
No, I said it on TV.
Across the table, I think we both agree that we need to do better from the political side, because even your minority leader told the late former defense minister that because he was grilling him, he shouldn't deny him slots.
Of course, that is why I told you. I told you from the beginning.
Should I also give you a video where Afenyo Makin was in the frequency, standing there and telling people that even though we are in opposition, when you now have a police.
You can do that. I have no problem. You see, you can do that. What I'm saying is, it's an institutional failure. Let us accept that.
Yes.
A state managed, extortion of the people.
I don't think it's fair to say it's state-managed extortion.
Why? Under MPP, it happened.
You also took money for forms.
Listen to me. I say under MPP, it happened. Under NDC, it is happening. And you begin from 1993, when NDC took office, the Fourth Republican Ghana, it happened. Up to the time of J. Kufuor, it happened. Up to a point where we thought online registration would, curtail that canker. Up to this point, it has not stopped. Under MPP, the previous government, we can still have the numbers. How many how many youth registered or applied? How many were taken? We can always compare, and up to this point. So I'm saying that this thing keeps on continuing. We are talking about protocols, and I am talking seriously about situation where we all know that we can absorb only 5,000, yet we go to the extent of getting 500,000 people on board. What is it? Even in our universities, it's happening. Yes,
and we all agree.
Yes, educational institutions is happening.
When it is about two people, more people than two.
But there must be a closure at a point. There must be. We must find lasting solutions.
Dr. Kofu, so let's come to the solutions.
Now
underlining this problem is that there's a serious youth bulge across the continent, of which Ghana is part of.
Yes.
And there's also a crisis, an unemployment crisis. You look at the job numbers, it doesn't make for pleasant reading. So how do we nip this in the bud? Government is promising a lot within the space. There's the big push where they say will create jobs. There's the 24-hour economic policy program, which is aimed at creating jobs for the teeming youth. Is that the solution?
You see, politicians, we are. The solution must begin with us. The solution is telling the truth, telling Ghanaians, and when it comes to employment, the youth, telling them the truth, the realities on the ground. When in opposition, and you take advantage of the unemployment situation and rally the youth around, promise them that you're going to give them jobs to do. You tell them that in the existing systems, job opportunities available, you have the magic to create, they call it 331 or 133.
133.
133.
So 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people.
You say that is the solution. So is that solution working? Is it working? The answer is no.
Why?
So, please, you said, he's asking for solutions.
Yes.
And I'm saying that when you were in opposition, you have proffered that one of the solutions would be 133.
Yes.
1 job,
yes.
3 persons,
yes.
and then 3 shifts. Yes. So you are a CEO now. So is it the case that you should have 3 CEOs so that you go 1 shift, another CEO come for another shift, and then another CEO come? I'm coming. It is practically impossible. It is not working. You see, 3 shifts, we all know, and you know, that these shift systems is something that is demand-driven, particularly in production, in manufacturing sector, where if I'm producing this water and the demand is so high, then I will add 1 more production line so that I will need 1 more hand. So it can be 3, 4, 2, depending on the economics of it. That is it. That's principle. And this is something that is there already. It can be innovative only when you put some measures in place to do the accommodation. For instance, during Akufo-Addo's free SHS, we had a surge of these youth coming in for the schools. I mean, they registered, they applied, and we have so many children in. So there was the need to find a way to get them there. That's how come the shift system in education came up. And in the opposition, you criticized heavily. But the Akufo-Addo government insisted that not a single child should be left behind because there's no opportunity there. So we can have shift system.
Was not a
shift
system.
Please.
Yours was not a shift
system.
Please, let him finish his point. I'll come to you. There's enough time for you to make your point.
So you said traffic light.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. But the idea was to make room for these kids who otherwise wouldn't have gotten the opportunity because the infrastructure was there. Here, this is your studio. After your show, another group is coming. You even rearrange things. So me sitting home at, city, home is brutal. But it is a rearrangement just to accommodate at the other shift. Is it not the case? Yes. It is not a panacea to a teeming unemployed youth where we haven't created an avenue for production to move on, manufacturing, where you can put you were talking about service provision. Service provision, they say passport office, running 3 shifts. For how long?
DVLE.
24
hours. But it is offering, is bringing some benefits.
I agree, but for how long? Go and look on their compensation. They are neck deep. They are spending almost all their IGF on compensation because they have been forced to recruit people into the system where they do not even have desks to sit on. Go to other institutions. I don't want to mention. I don't want to create any problem this morning. But the fact still remains that as politicians, as leaders of this country, we have not been truthful to ourselves and to the people of Ghana. One of the solutions under Akufo-Addo's government was to promote this STEM, promote this CODVET, this skills development in the middle stream. Technology. In Germany, my brother just came, he's from Germany, and in Germany, you have this Fachhochschule, that's the technical schools, that bridges the higher learning, the so-called higher learning or education that brings nothing,
always had
and
technical
then the down there. Yes, we had.
We've always had technical schools.
Please, but people were not. How? People were not getting attractive to that. You and I want our children to go to the normal university where they will graduate BA, BSc, whatever.
But we introduced technical universities. We introduced technical universities.
Don't worry.
We upgraded all the polytechnics
don't
to
worry.
technical universities.
He's asking for solution. You did all that, and yet you are not using it as for the solutions. You did it, so and you left it.
Yes.
Now I'm saying that
so
as
education,
a nation,
STEM education.
Yes, STEM education. Go and check what Dr. Aduchum's period, all those things were built and the records are there. Very soon we will be coming out with our manifesto, previous one. I'll be dealing with the previous manifesto. What Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had said then, leading NPP, that if we were to come to office at the time, what was going to be the solutions to some of these things. But for me, the first solution is truth. We must be truthful to the people. We should tell them exactly what the situations are, what can be done and what cannot be done. But for votes, we can lie and lie and lie, and the reality is dawning on us. The youth
Thank you very much.
Asking for what you promised them.
Interesting.
Let me say this.
Honorable, I'll come to you. I want to just read a couple of messages, then I'll come to you. And some of the messages are coming in thick and fast, and you can do so also by sending your thoughts, your comments, your contributions, even your experiences. Have you applied to any of the security services before? What was the procedure like? What's your experience like? Would love to hear from you. The number is on your screen. You can do so shortly. But a couple have come in already. Good morning, Channel 1 TV. Many applicants may join primarily because they need stable income, not necessarily because they are passionate about policing, the military, or other security roles. When survival becomes the main motivation, commitment to the deeper responsibilities the job can suffer. This is Samson Techiba from Brekum. Good morning, Jude. Honorable Nivan Vanderpoy is being very honest, and I like his submissions. Politicians need to look inward and know that the problem is from them. Your name is Evans AJ. Thank you for sending that one. Hi, good morning. I'm watching your show, and I'd like to contribute on the matter. I applied to the security services, that's the Ghana National Fire Service and the Ghana Immigration Service. The application form was 200 cedis. Honorable, you were asking.
220.
He said 200.
200, okay.
However, the aptitude test we wrote online had many questions that had nothing to do with the sectors we applied to.
Just to fill
them. You didn't add your name. Please send me some of the questions they ask, because all the ones I've seen is asking hybridization and who, did the first heart transplant in the world.
Seriously?
And allegedly.
No, seriously?
Allegedly.
But what,
allegedly.
Is it not ordinary question?
So viewers will censor the questions.
And this
viewers will send the questions, then we'll try and verify from the relevant authorities. Good morning, Jude. If Dr. Kokofu knows all this started from the Fourth Republic to date, did he speak about it when they were in power?
Yes.
Power has changed, and he's behaving like he has the Ghanaian interest at heart.
Oh, I spoke about it when we were in office.
Kwame from Kaswa.
Even when we were in Parliament, I spoke about it.
Interesting. Politicians are all the same. Let power change tomorrow. Dr. Kokofu will sing the same praise song. James from Dansuman. Dr. Kokofu is hitting the nail right where it has to be hit, because the politicians know what the issue are. They are charging the money, and they know where the money is going to after taking these huge sums of money from the ordinary Ghanaian. We need to do better as a people. Just listen to Dr. Kokofu. He said politicians should tell the truth. When was the last time any NPP politician told the truth? Who is the biggest liars in Ghana's history? I'm not sure about that.
I'm telling the truth now.
Anyway, Kweku, please. Moving on to some other message. From what we are seeing, this NDC-led administration, is evident this country needs Dr. Bawumia to turn things around for the better. This is Jomo from. This is Festus from Jomo Pokwase. A couple more messages are coming via Twitter, and my handle is @Mensa Duncan. You could also use Channel 1 TV's handle, Channel 1 TV GH, to send the message. Kwame Edupoku, the recruitment process must be more transparent. Many qualified young people apply every year, but they feel the system favors people with connections. And yes, Dr. Kokofu is very right when he says that Jubilee House and Parliament have their own people even before the process begins. Yeah. That's Kwame sending the message. JB will also says, why do we hear about the recruitment only when the deadline is almost over? Information should reach everyone early, especially people in rural areas. Abdul Tamale says, a lot of youth want to serve the country through the security services, but the process seems too complicated and expensive for some applicants. Honorable Neil Ante Vanderpoel, please talk to your people. The grassroots is angry. Abdul, you say. Finally here, if the government wants the best officers, recruitment should focus strictly on merit and fitness, not recommendations from politicians and the Jubilee House. You didn't add your name to this particular message. So clearly there's a lot of disaffection with the process. Listening to Dr. Kokofu, two key issues stand out. He talks about truthfulness from politicians across the divide. He also talks about the need for STEM education. What are your thoughts on the solutions?
Before I come to that, let's agree. Issues about job creation, issues about job unemployment is also a ripple of population growth. Over the years, as the population becomes bigger, you have more people coming out of schools, universities, and the rest wanting jobs. And we can see over the years, our opportunities for jobs has not been as, let me say, expensive as population growth. And so under population's dynamics, as your population grows, you need to make it possible for it and other sectors of the economy to be opened up in such a way that it can absorb. But over the years as a country, we've not been able, we've rather closed, we've rather narrowed the opportunities available for people and the growth of population to respond. So we have more universities today. The universities are churning out hundreds of thousands of graduates. Where are the job opportunities? So it's become almost impossible for almost everybody who comes up. Unlike mine, I got unemployment when I was in the final year in the university in 1989.
With GBC?
Yes, before I left university, I had a job. There were times when institutions were recruiting people on campus before they even write their final exams. Today, it's not like that. So we live in a country where we are opening up the frontiers of education, but there is no corresponding opportunities for jobs. So today you even have graduate people with master's degrees looking for messenger job to do. And they don't even get. You get me? That's why there is a rush, everybody. And it's also one thing I've seen, one thing I've observed. We have almost all our educational institutions undertaking courses that are not related to the market. If you have almost all the universities doing human resource development, logistics and supply, how many institutions in this country are involved in logistics? How many institutions do we have that have to churn out human resource departments? You understand? So our whole educational system must be looked at again. I agree. Could we talk about STEM? As if STEM is a new creation. Me and him grew up in an educational system where there were opportunities for STEM. When I was in school, look, it was not only the so-called, let me say, colonial subjects, as we call them, English, maths, science. There were opportunities for technical drawing and all these others. And then the PNDC introduced what today is called a STEM. With the new technical schools, there were even day technical schools. And the new JHS, which was introduced at that time, JSS, which was introduced at that time, gave so much opportunity for technical vocational skills. With your introduction, you brought STEM. STEM is limited to some schools. So it doesn't give the opportunity for all the schools to go through the same. But I want to say well, the frontier will be that every school is focusing more on technical vocational science instructions. So we have more people coming out of. But in that situation, what we also be looking at, how many more science-based technical-based institutions, establishments will be opened up so that they can absorb.
Okay.
Because if we also open up that frontier of education, and there is no corresponding institutions and establishment to absorb them, they will also become an unemployment this thing for us. So now I say that today with this recruitment, what we are saying is that many more young men and women prefer the security services, as somebody said, for job security. You understand? They know that one when they enter, but for disciplinary measures, they will stay in until they come on pension. You understand? So I think that we must open up a bit more. If we accept, the studies show that we still don't have that strength of our security service and we need to recruit more. Let's focus about recruiting more and stop spending money on other areas like youth in afforestation, youth in this. Those ones are not sustainable jobs. If we can open up the frontier of our security services so that we can equally have the United Nations target of 1 policeman to about 100 people, then we know. Then as a country, we are not only building the security services, we are not only creating jobs, but we are also making sure that our security, entire national security outlook becomes what it's supposed to be.
Interesting. Because I was looking at this thing, right, and I was using the MTN Momo model, for example, and I was asking myself, which one government agency has been able to create a sustaining job opportunity like Momo? A lot of the time we come with fanciful names, NAPCO, and after 6 months we are struggling to pay them. Youth in afforestation, youth in this, but the jobs and the sustainability always raises questions. But thank you for your points.
I want to make a last point.
I want to go on a break, then I come back, then we'll just wrap up.
I just want to make this point.
We'll go on a break, I will come back.
Jude, you see, the issue...
10 seconds.
The issue...
Then Jude, I will have 1 minute.
The issue about 24-hour jobs. Kokofu answered this himself. And I would just want him to say that, look, a system whereby we create an institution, you said service. Under normal circumstances, somebody works 8 hours, it's gone home. Somebody comes and continue, like you said, DVLA, you said Gapoha, you said all these things. They are working. The 24-hour services are working. But now there is a whole legal
system. I've been also told that it's yet to fully take off.
Yes, because the legal system is now. The president just assented to the law.
Jude, we are joking when we still think we the politicians, the government should continue to be the greatest employer in this country. We are joking.
The private sector.
The private sector. Because as we speak today...
It's a whole different topic.
No. As we speak today, governments upon governments get choked with compensation.
Doctor,
the private sector must necessarily be encouraged to... And we have advantage in the agribusiness. Why are we not encouraging...
That's what government has set up agribusiness.
Thank you very much.
So the problem has
across the table, my guests believe that politicians need to be more truthful in their dealings with their constituents, and of course, the need for education. Honorable Kokofu says we should look at STEM. Neil Vanderpoel says we should relook the whole educational setup and put in place tailor-made, courses that meet the modern job demands. Yeah, it's an issue that has generated lots of public interest. So many messages coming. Of course, somebody has sent me a question here. It says Georgia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan became members of the UNO in A, 1994, B, 1993, C, 1992, and D, 1991. Is this a security question? Another one, first human heart transplant was conducted by Dr. Christian Barnard on Lewinsky Washhansky. And in what year? 1967, 1968, 1922, and 1951. What is hybridization?
I will have failed.
I mean, so many messages. Eric from Ablekuma, it's true. 90% of the questions asked during the test have nothing to do with Ghana or the service. One question asked which tech company is facing legal action since 2023. Good morning. In 1993, I wrote an exam to be recruited into the immigration service. I came through. Since then, nobody called me. They sold my position. Ghana can be a very cruel place sometimes. And this other one says, this government has scammed all the youth. It says AI will vote for them in 2028. And on that note, I'll take a quick break. When we're back, there's a lot more. US, Ghana, airstrikes, Nigeria and the question, ongoing Middle East tensions, a lot more to delve on the show. Don't go away.
means getting the TV you love, but staying connected means getting something extra. Stunning. Extra matches, extra dramas, the best local and the world's biggest. Extra laughter, music, movies, and extra vim. I love it. Just stay connected or reconnect and get upgraded to the next higher package at no extra cost. Charlie, we got you. Keep watching. Get more with DSTV.
Are you ready to revolutionize the future of agriculture? The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank, proudly presents the Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair will feature exhibitions, market linkages, masterclasses, and workshops on climate-smart farming, digital tools, and export development. Join us at the Black Star Square from March 17 to March 19 at 9 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be assisted by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofosuejari, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, to open the fair. Government agencies, agrotech firms, startups, farmers, financial institutions, and the general public are all welcome. To exhibit or for inquiries, call 0559 9326 or 0242 585419. Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology.
Tinha pata mobaminole. Yobatere milolo. Ashino kubeli bashe what's just mo papo.
Osmolelo.
Me to enjoy me kenta.
To enjoy. Yene kashiane.
Shiane mo fun yo mi.
My line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini ehu behia semecha sapapadia to amame manfo Kale Charcoal's natural ingredients eno ene bome se ho ban e mane swen ne sanso mama hotoso e wo bedwam.
Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kale Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kale, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved. A Channel 1 TV documentary, Rags and Riches, explores the unfolding challenge of thrift clothing by examining the entire value chain, from international clothing exports and local importers to market traders, consumers, and waste management systems, revealing the economic, environmental, and social implications of the global second-hand clothing trade. Watch Rags and Riches on Thursday, the 12th of March at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan, sitting in for a regular host, Nana Tufo Boatin. Just gone by, we're looking into the issues on the ongoing recruitment and into security services, the challenges, the concerns, the fears from some recruits and persons who've subscribed to be part of the process. But now we'll shift focus to our second conversation for the day. U.S. airstrikes and Ghana's involvement in Nigeria. The minority have raised some questions. I'll bring you excerpts of that. But so many messages, and because we do the show for you, our lovely viewers, I want to just read a few of them before we go. This one says, Jude, tell the MPP and MDC that the youth of this nation has had enough. They've been lying to us. They know themselves. They are playing a smart game with our future. A time is coming, they will see our anger. And my name is JT Mohammed, an ex-Ghanaian footballer, and happens to be back home after staying in the US for 39 years. My question is, why in the world do you have to pay for a fee to apply for a government job? Is there any reason at all? Why don't we just say applicants to pay, let's say, £1 for the formalities? Now, our respectfully...
That one is also payment.
I respectfully suggest to both panelists to advise whoever is responsible for the ongoing process to be honest with citizens of Ghana. With the experience I acquired living abroad, I think it's just weird and hard to understand. And this one says, hi, good morning. I'm Ashon from Pune. I applied for a driver job, but the questions being asked was only based on electrical engineering questions. I don't know, but viewers, if any of you know what hybridization is, you can text into the show so that we'll all learn, you know, what's going on. Anyway, amazing. Honorable Kukufu, can you please spare me this?
Okay.
I want to just read excerpts from the story. Thank you very much. Story, big front page headline, Minority quizzes government over U.S. airstrikes from Ghana. Story on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Story by Ernest Kofiedu. Excerpts read, the minority in parliament has demanded urgent explanations from the government following claims that Ghana's territory was used by the United States to launch airstrikes against ISIS targets in northern Nigeria. The concerns were raised by the ranking member of the Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Abujinapo, who said the alleged development has raised serious implications for Ghana's foreign policy and national security. Brief excerpts read, addressing journalists in Parliament yesterday, Mr. Jinapo said the minority was reacting to comments made by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, during a panel discussion at Chatham House in London. According to the minority, the Foreign Affairs Minister indicated that during the discussion, the government collaborated with the United States in December 2025 to allow Ghanaian territory to be used as a base for airstrikes targeting terrorist groups in ISIS in northern Nigeria. And I'll start with you, Dr. Kokofu. You've been following issues very keenly. You know, the world, as we know right now, is at crossroads. From the Gulf, even here in Africa, we've not been spared of the activities of terrorist attacks. A few weeks ago, our compatriots in tomato business got killed in line of their work. What are your initial remarks on this particular issue?
Okay, but is it true, sir? Questions we say be a hybridization.
Oh, that's what viewers.
That's
what viewers have said.
And this is so serious. It has never happened before.
Can you answer the question?
I will, but I sympathize with the youth out there.
Okay,
it's all this happening.
As a former EPA boss, can you please explain to us in 10 seconds what hybridization is?
You see the test is. Well, hybridization has to do with a concept where you put two things together, known two things together, in order to produce an improved version. For instance, you may have cocoa, you work on it genetically, and then you produced a superior variety. So it's called a hybridized variety. It can also permeate in other sectors. You put two systems together and you get a new system that is immune from, the idea is it should be immune from some kind of diseases or problems or something from the previous. So it's an innovation. It's something that we, the scientists, we do, particularly plant scientists, plant genetics, and geneticism in general. But how has this got to do with me and
Dr. Thank you very much. Minority quizzes government on U.S. airstrikes from Ghana. I think it was reviewed by.
Well, is it true? Is it true that the Foreign Affairs Minister made that statement?
He had a public engagement with Chatham House in the UK and made some comments to that effect.
As to what? I just want us, because the minority did not speak in vacuum. I mean, they are asking this or doing the quizzing based on certain information, and I want the public to know that kind of information that was churned out by the foreign minister. And
I think we have a video.
So we can all interrogate.
We have a video from the foreign minister. I think we aired it yesterday. My producers will bring it. Then we'll play it.
So let me play the
panel discussion.
In a panel discussion, and he let go that kind of information. Serious. That's a diplomatic flaw to start with. And well, I don't know much, but this is highly, friends say, security intelligence, classified intelligence. I don't know. I don't know what
you don't know the question that was asked.
We'll try and find the video.
So that is why
you don't know what the discussion was about. The discussion was the discussion on security in West Africa.
Suppose the question was on that. Do you think you let go such information?
Before that question will be asked, it's an international knowledge.
Fine. So
the
then
US has struck all those ISIS targets in northern Nigeria.
I'm not disputing. I'm saying, what I'm saying is, do we have our foreign minister to go out there and be churning out some of this information?
So were you expecting
what are the implications on the national security systems?
I know. Were you expecting the foreign minister to say, no, it's not true?
Well, you are not getting me. That's why we have something called diplomacy.
Yes, so the diplomacy is that question should not have been on the discussion in the first place.
Well, so you are there. So you and I here, the man may ask some question. I will be polite. I'll be honest enough to say politely I decline.
So I'm being informed that the minister didn't officially say that the strikes happened from here.
He did officially.
He did not officially say that.
So what occasioned
the minorities comment?
No. What occasioned?
It was even on your radio station yesterday.
Yes.
What occasioned? What information did he give out there? What information did he give out there concerning the subject matter? It is very necessary. We need to interrogate that. That is why the minority is raising this issue. The minority is concerned about the security implications of these things.
They are just being irresponsible.
Who is being irresponsible?
The minority.
Yeah.
Yes, the minority.
Not the minister who gave out
the minority.
Two
wrongs don't make right. Critically, the minister said it. You should not. They have made it public. The minister said it in an enclosed.
I want you to have a full take on it.
Yes. So you hold your fire. You see. This is not the first time the foreign minister has been coming out with some of these statements that puts the country in a very awkward position in the diplomatic circles. So I want us to tread cautiously. I do not have the full
facts.
Yeah, the full facts available. But for the minority to have come out to quiz, we are showing concern. It is the concern, the repercussions or otherwise that we need to know. And this is a quiz. They want to know from the sector, the foreign ministry, whether really this went on or not. But we must tread cautiously in some of these things.
Honorable Mandapur.
Let me say this, with my background, I would say that in Parliament, we have so many opportunities to seek the same answers we are looking for without making the other issues public. The minority could have sought the answers from the minister at the committee level in Parliament. It could even come within the committee of the whole, where media will not be there for those things to be carried out. But when you organize a press conference and you throw this thing out there, what we actually do is that you are accentuating the issue. You are escalating it. You are making more people know what has been said in a closet. Look, normally what happens at Chatham House is there's a topic which is discussed and the questions will center on certain things. So whether the minister directly said what he said or not, it is for the minority in the interest of the security of the state to use appropriate forum in Parliament to ask for those answers they are looking for. So you call him to the committee or the whole or the Defense and Intelligence Committee, Security and Intelligence Committee, Defense and Interior Committee, leadership of those committees. You sit down and ask those questions. It ends there at the committee level. You understand? Whatever you are looking for, the clerk will file it, and then it becomes a record of Parliament.
Yeah.
But because of you wanting to score political points, you go and mount a press conference and throw this thing out there, and now today it has become public discussion. What you are actually doing is that you are opening Ghana up for attacks from these people. 2, look, what was the reason for this target, for US hitting this target? Ghana, haven't we already established a US base here? We have. We have established a US base here.
But Dominic Nitu, who is a former defense minister, said that even though we had former past agreements, in all of these agreements, at no point did the United States or any country allow to use the territory of Ghana to launch as a launch pad to attack any individual, nation,
because
group, or organization.
At no point there was the need. Jude, let me interject in here. I would suggest we defer this topic because we will also be, like you said, exposing a whole lot of things. Let us defer.
I agree with you.
Because I'm very much uncomfortable
with the conversation.
Yes.
But very finally, before we move on, we actually have one more conversation to
that
do.
one you can say.
The minority have called on the Foreign Affairs Minister to appear before Parliament. Would you say this is a call?
They should have done that first. They should have done that first. The Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I still maintain that that discussions pertaining to these things must be deferred, and the proper things.
You and I have been in Parliament.
Yes,
there
of
are
course.
many instances where certain
sensitive
issues.
That's why I'm saying.
We don't do press conference.
That's why I'm saying.
We handle it at the
that's
committee
why I'm
level.
saying on this public platform, you should defer it and then go on another.
Let me just read a quote. MyJoyOnline.com reported the Foreign Affairs Minister to us.
You still want to go on that tangent?
Just for purposes of
I recuse myself from this conversation, so I'm not here. I'm not party to it.
Fair enough. We'll move on pretty shortly. But this quote by MyJoyOnline.com says, the Nigerians will confirm to you that they invited the Americans and they also reached out to Ghana to collaborate. Yes. Both the Nigerians and the Americans. So that's how we are playing this out. Sovereignty has to be respected. Territorial integrity has to be respected, Mr. Ablakwa stated. And the headline to this article is Ablakwa reveals Ghana's role in U.S.-Nigeria Christmas
Nigerian
Day
government itself has said that they invited the U.S. to do that because they were having a problem with dealing with these ISIS and the kidnapping of girls and all those things. You understand? And 2, as a Ghanaian sitting here, I'm having in mind what happened in Burkina. If there is ISIS target in Burkina and America want to hit it, why not? Why not?
Fair enough.
Why should we allow rebels and these insurgents to continue to cause trouble for us in West Africa?
I think across the table we believe that Parliament should be.
I agree perfectly.
Meeting the minister to get the full facts on the matter.
I'm saying that what they did was irresponsible because they know the structure of Parliament and they know the opportunities that they have as a committee. Parliament is strong. You can summon the minister anytime.
Honorable Kokofu, you recused yourself.
Yes, I've recused myself. My Joy Online is reporting this. It's a public knowledge. It shouldn't have been.
Nigeria, this thing happened in 2025.
Christmas Day.
Yes, in 2025. So Nigerians have talked about it already.
So what kind of irresponsibility then lies on
that's what I'm saying, that it is something that is
already
dead.
said there. So I'm saying let us keep it. You are going to resurrect it. You are resurrecting it.
Thank you very much. So yes, Honorable Van der Poel makes the point that Parliament should be meeting the minister before coming out with some of these press conferences on some of these sensitive issues.
International security issues.
International security issues. Honorable Kokofu recused himself. So
yes.
It is a house
but he agrees with me.
I agree with the point that it should be treated differently from
with a lot of discreet.
Yes.
Amazing. All right, so we'll move on the conversation. The Middle East tensions still escalating. The president for the U.S. last week said that there was an end in sight soon, but it doesn't seem to happen because yesterday the Strait of Hormuz, which controls about 21% of the world's oil supply, according to Iran, has been effectively shut to cargo, not from Iran. So many other things happening, right? And yesterday as well, we heard from the president of the U.S. again on the issue. There are fears that the barrel would go past the $100 again.
This morning.
Yes, and significantly impact the global economy. Honorable Lante Van der Poel, I'll start with you.
It is worrying. All of us are worried about what is happening. And yesterday, the Iranians hit 2 oil cargo ships within the Strait. And this has called on the International Energy Association to ask members to release all stocks in their hold in order to augment the shortfall that this conflict is causing. That's why I said last year that was this conflict necessary at all? To me, it wasn't necessary. We could have used much more other international diplomatic means to resolve this conflict, because I thought that there was negotiations, there was a diplomatic negotiation ongoing. So for America to have usurped that and then go straight into war, I think it's a bit irresponsible. I think it's a bit too much of a unilateral decision. And they didn't seek even the permission and authority of their Senate. They didn't do
Congress.
They didn't seek the permission of the Congress. They didn't also seek the United Nations permission to undertake this. I thought that when the International Atomic Energy itself and the UN have a procedure, a process of monitoring uranium development of nuclear sources, it is important that in all situations, when we know we have a structure, we have a system in place which is checking this, we use the system until we are sure that the system has failed. That's why we say if it's not broken, we don't fix it. And that is what I expected the US to do. But then, like it happened in Libya, like it happened in Iraq,
Afghanistan.
And Afghanistan. So it is important. But then it has happened. What we need to do now, I think that, I condemned Iran's also attack on the neighboring countries and affecting business with the sub-region, with the Gulf area. That is also irresponsible on the part of Iran. Today, all of us are going to face it. I thank God that we have a very responsive mechanism in place to be able to make sure that Ghanaians don't suffer unduly as a result of what is happening at the international scene. Yesterday, I had a much more soothing message also from TOR, which is saying that apart from what the MPA has said, they are also putting in schemes and mechanism systems to make sure that we have more oil reserve for our domestic consumption that will not make us too dependent on international circles. And they also said that the bulk of our 80% of our imports comes from Europe and not from the Gulf states. So we will not be too much adversely affected. But still, because of the international pressures and the hike,
global supply chain,
the hike in the global supply price, it will affect us in one way or the other. But then not the level that we will have done if we are not prepared. I pray that by the end of this week and next week, possibly we may see an end to all this.
Dr. Kokofu, having followed the developing issues there, will you say the U.S. underrated Iran's resolve? Also yesterday, the CNN reported that Russia is now offering some advice on drone defense systems to Iran. Are we in for the long run, and should we as a country be worried?
Well, Putin in Russia told us he was going to Ukraine and he will finish in 3 days. It's about 4 years now. So maybe Trump and the U.S. thought they were going to finish the job, but I don't think so. The conventional warfare of today is not a straightforward thing. You may win a battle today, and the other party may also come back. So, as an aggressor, the U.S. and Russia, or aggressors, the U.S. and Israel have their own game plan to finish the job in time, so we can all have a respite or something of the sort. But they are also capable of defending themselves, and they also have allies. And so if Russia is coming on board to help them, and if North Korea decides to, China decides to, so we are going to have an escalation of this war, and it will not augur well for the entire global peace systems. People have said, are we heading towards the Third World War? I do not know, and I don't want to wish so. Otherwise, the escalation of the conflict will have a dire consequences on the global economic outlook. And when these things happen, developing countries, of which Ghana is part, with these weak, non-resilient economic structures, will always be at the receiving end. And so, from time immemorial, we've said that external shocks, external occurrence, including force majeure, do have effects on us. No matter how good manager you may be as a government. And this is not limited to Ghana alone. Resilient economies in Europe, Asia, and elsewhere get these shocks and they find themselves wanting. So NDC in government now, they are panicking and they are shivering because it's going to get back to them. Karma is really hitting them in the face. Are they going to come to public? Oh, please. Let me finish. Are they going to be able to have the guts and the balls to come to the public, I mean the people of Ghana, to tell us that what is happening in Iran is having adverse effect on us? Is it going to get this
like you did with Russia and Ukraine,
plunge us into oil crisis? And get me, the moment you have hikes in oil, petroleum, it affects almost everything within the economy, including transportation is the first part. Once transportation gets hit, then all other services also get affected. And then whatever gains you might have made in the economic fundamentals, inflation, whatever, interest rate and all those things would then get distorted and distracted. So my prayer is that as a people, we should be able to forgive ourselves. And the other day I said that for the government and for the president to be listened to, he first has to apologize to Akufo-Addo's government for making that unpleasant remark that missiles and ammunition is being fired in Ukraine 7,000 miles away does not have effect on Ghana. That statement alone, but
you are using that as an excuse for everything.
Oh, please.
You are even using that as an excuse for fever.
And then you told us, we Ghanaians, that when fires are being occurring elsewhere, 7,000 miles away, it does not affect us. So today, are you going to tell us that bombing of Iran, some 7,000 miles away, is going to affect us?
Have we said that?
This is the conversation we have. That's why we are here.
Dr. Kokufu, His Excellency Nanado also told us that he knows how to bring the economy back to life.
Yes.
But he didn't know how to bring humans back
exactly.
to life.
Oh, you are right. So that is how come.
But he left the economy with inflation at
No,
change his mind. He said the economy is so bad that
he left inflation at 23%.
He will come and
at that point it was even 53.4%.
Yes, and let me correct you. That's the case. J. Akufo assumed office in 2000 with skyrocketing inflations and all.
It's not true.
That was bekeyed by the then NDC.
It's not true.
We came in and we stepped.
What was the inflation at that
time? Why did
did
we go to HEPIC? Why did Ghana go to HEPIC? You see,
but HEPIC is not a foundation of inflation.
So you see, economic crisis always comes at a point, and the recovery to it must also start from somewhere. So the foundations to the economic recovery was done by NPP.
No,
then you
we started economic recovery program.
Thank you very much. My time is up. Great show, Jude. The politicians always say the right things when they are in opposition.
Yeah.
Honorable Neil Antivandapo has been a moderate on the topics today, and I hope he gets his government to realize it before things get out of hand. This is a rather lengthy one. I read just brief excerpts. Is Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu suggesting that because many applicants may not meet the system's cut-off, the application slots should be widened? If so, does that mean the final selection could benefit only family and friends connected to the two major political parties in Ghana, the NPP and the NDC? Wouldn't it be fairer to allocate a fixed number of slots to each region so that everyone has an equal opportunity? At the end, it would clearly show how many qualified applicants came from each region, making it easier to account for the numbers and also determine which region had the highest applicant. Please don't mention my name. You see,
more people will apply for it in that region than the spaces available.
Let me just bring some final messages here. Hello, Channel 1 TV. Why would Ghana be involving itself in a war diplomacy overreach? I see lots of lapses in the current government security system and foreign policy. Malcolm Zuma sends that one in. Good morning, comrades and patriots of Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. We must also know that it's not all applicants who are unemployed. I know people who are employed in other sectors like GS, Ghana Health Service, who have applied to join the security service. My question to the panelists is, what was the qualifications for the recruitment exercise? Ayi Justice from Navrongo. So many other more messages, but time wouldn't allow us to permit it. I'm so grateful for your time this morning. I appreciate your insights you brought into the conversations, and the Breakfast Daily Show continues with a hybridization conversation. You can see, I like that. I like that. The Breakfast Daily Show continues with Philip and Chris Carter. Don't go away.
Ago.
Life is a celebration of moments, big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved. Watching DSTV means getting the TV you love, but staying connected means getting something extra. Stunning. Extra matches, extra dramas, the best local and the world's biggest. Extra laughter, music, movies, and extra vim. I love it. Just stay connected or reconnect and get upgraded to the next higher package at no extra cost. Charlie, we got you. Keep watching. Get more with DSTV.
A Channel 1 TV documentary, Rags and Riches, explores the unfolding challenge of thrift clothing by examining the entire value chain, from international clothing exports and local importers to market traders, consumers, and waste management systems, revealing the economic, environmental, and social implications of the global second-hand clothing trade. Watch Rags and Riches on Thursday, the 12th of March at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
This Easter, as homes fill with laughter, shared meals, and love, pause for a moment and remember a child who has no one to celebrate with. Across Ghana, children in selected orphanages are hoping for care, hoping for comfort, hoping for kindness. You can be the reason a child smiles this Easter. Support the Easter Orphan Project 2026. Your donation in cash or in kind will provide warm meals, clothing, school supplies, and essential care for their well-being. Send your mobile money donation to 0550-900-006 or write a check in the name of the City FM Foundation. You may also bring your donation to Channel 1 TV in Tesano, Accra, Ghana. You can donate milk, sugar, rice, toys, books, or detergent. For more information, visit www.citynewsroom.com or call 0550-900-006 or 0302-226-888. 013. The Easter Orphan project comes off on Monday, 6 April 2026 and is powered by 97.3 City FM with support from Channel 1 TV. This Easter, let your kindness light up a child's life.
Sweeter Secondary School invites all alumni and stakeholders to the 67th anniversary and homecoming celebrations. It's happening from Friday the 20th of March to Sunday the 22nd of March 2026. On Friday, How I Got There, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Year groups check-in and roll call. Gary Soakins competition. Cadet course ceremony from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. All students convoy. Drive to Swesco, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Candlelight procession from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Welcome cocktail with alumni and staff of the school. Meet and greet with Compa Band performing live at the forecourt of the school complex from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, speech and prize giving day from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All year groups lunch from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Alumni dance party from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Sunday, anniversary Thanksgiving service at 8 a.m. A great opportunity to reconnect with your old mates. Contact your year group president now. Semper Cum Optimus, always with the best.
Bestie, meet my lovely family.
I mean, we can do that whilst I'm seated and eating. Let me put on the food before we eat.
He will be here for days, and I only find out at a family dinner on the day that he arrives.
Morning, family.
Everything in the kitchen is actually gone.
You know, in the UK, I work like a donkey, but here, I eat like a monkey.
My noodles just vanished like a spirit had branch.
He finished my slightly burnt oil rice.
Half a crate of eggs cannot just poof, disappear.
Good morning, all.
Lesa, have you by any chance gone to the kitchen?
Madam, unless the kitchen wants to be my sleep, you are there in the kitchen.
If I die, wouldn't you serve food at my funeral?
Heaven save us! My what's
Bestie.
Away, Dad, I'm sure he's gone.
Good morning.
I thought you were gone.
The Blankson family is here. The vibe is too much.
Ago.
Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV, and you are welcome. And as you all know, Jude Duncan started the show with some political talks with his panels, and now we are getting into other things like our communities, interviews, trends, and so on. And I hope that you stay with us from now till 11 a.m. My name is Chris Carter.
My name is Philip Latte. Chris, you're looking nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah.
What's the occasion?
Nothing. I just woke up this morning and felt like being like this. And you know the song that came into my head?
What?
So Abaya was teaching me how to
sing it.
Faulada.
Faulada, Anyway, so, but I think before previously the Heritage Caravan, they used that song for the advertisement.
Yes.
And all that. So on that note, we still want to thank you, the sponsors, the Heritage Caravan,
We want to say a very, very big thank you to you for making it a point and sponsoring this event. And we still can't stop thanking you, because without you, we couldn't have done this. So we toured 14 regions in 8 days. Thank you so much to Ghana Tourism Authority. Thank you so much to Nanes Rise Well, Caveman Watches, that is the official timekeepers. The digital Gino Admi Garnot paste. If you've not gotten that for your Garnot soup, yes, please, please, please again. This weekend, I know, you'll be doing that Garnot soup with that motu, or the Garnot soup with the kokonte, or the Garnot soup. What that particular, the carbo you want to add to it, get Admi Garnot paste and use it for the Garnot soup. Olat Insurance, thank you so much. Omni Basic Bank, Piva, and Mini Me Achomo. Thank you so much to our sponsors for making it a point to help us. And also to the Caravanites. Yes, you had fun. And we are still preaching that the 2027 edition is going to be ready. And so you should start saving for the 2027 edition. That is going to be the 11th edition of Heritage Caravan. So you should be able to prepare yourself for that particular event, 2027 edition. So once again, I want to say a very, very big thank you to all our sponsors for making this event a success. But as we are also talking about that, in the month of March, we do not do it as raw as it is on TV. We bring you on-air series on radio and on TV. So the on-air series happens on radio at 9 a.m. and also on TV at 10 a.m. Today, we are continuing conversations with Kweku Dako Ankara, and it's going to be Ghana's independence and the colonial struggles, part 1. So you'd want to stay here with us and learn something, because as we are doing all these things, we are trying to go back to our roots, get information, learn, and be able to pay the due respect to our forebears or our forefathers, or the people who stood for us to gain independence in this country. Chris. So the sponsors for this particular one, GCB Bank, GTP, Bethel Dental, and South African Airlines.
All right, and after that, we will be heading to the Back to Your Village Food Festival on the 28th and the 29th of March at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park for the Back to Your Village Food Festival. And this is a festival you definitely do not want to miss, because this is the only festival that brings the village to you here in the city. And there are some meals that you must have eaten when you were probably kids, or when you visited your villages last, and you haven't eaten it here, in the city. But the good thing is that we are bringing all these foods to you, because we are taking you to your villages. So that is why it's called Back to Your Village Food Festival, and we'll be eating from different regions of the country. And also while eating, we're going to be enjoying some cultural displays, some entertainment, and of course there's going to be a lot of networking that you definitely do not want to miss. If you know that you're a food vendor, an indigenous food vendor, this is an opportunity for you to come and showcase what you actually sell. Call the number 0205 973 973, 0205 973 973, and see you at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park on the 28th and the 29th of March 2026, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. This is brought to you by Channel 1 TV and powered by City 97.3 FM.
And of course, as we talk about the food festival, we still want to remind you that there is a campaign here that we are championing, and that is the Made in Ghana Rice campaign. So we want to do everything made in Ghana. So support us with this particular campaign. When you go out there to buy a bag of rice, ask for Made in Ghana Rice and purchase, so that we'll be able to create more jobs for our farmers, especially now that we are having issues with unemployment. Yesterday you heard from the Interior Minister, stating that jobs of like 5,000 jobs is being chased by 500,000 Ghanaians. And that tells you that we need to create jobs. So why don't we enter into the agri space, where we can create a lot more jobs to absorb a lot more youth and make it attractive. So if you move out there to buy rice, you want to buy made in Ghana rice so that we can create more jobs, also get money into the pockets of the farmers, and as well end food glut. So this is a campaign we are championing here in partnership with Agri Impact Limited, MasterCard Foundation, and the 24-Hour Economy. And this, of course, is championed by City 97.3 FM and Channel 1 TV.
All right, and the Easter Orphan project is right in the corner, and this is one of the projects you definitely do not want to miss. You definitely want to be part of this because you're going to be blessing the life of a child out there. This project is actually put together to help feed, maintain, and support some selected orphanages here in the country, and you can be part of this. Like I said, it's going to be happening on Easter Monday, the 6th of April 2026. How can you be part? You can just donate whatever you have via Momo from MTN is 0550-900-006, 0550-900-006. Or if you all have other things to donate, it could be your old clothes, it could be food, it could be water, please come through by visiting any of the offices here, Channel 1 TV here in Tesano, or City 97.3 FM at Adabraka. For more information, you can visit www.citynewsroom.com or call the number 0302 226 013, 0302 226 013, or 0550 900 to find out more.
Beautiful. And the last two announcements for us to make is the Channel 1 News app. Download it today and get the information. I'm sure that if you had downloaded or what you are talking about, or we were talking about a few minutes ago, you would have gotten them on your phone just with a notification, and you are good to go. So go on the Channel 1 online app, or go on the Google Play Store or the App Store and download the app now from there, so that you can have it on your phone. And also, what you can see on set today is we are still celebrating, or still marking, the Heritage Month. So the Tekura designs and all that, like you can see on the screens, you'd want to visit their showroom today so that you can get something for yourself. This traditionally rich culture, let me put it that way, furniture that you can get for your home, for your office, for the space you want to create in your house, or wherever you find yourself, you want to create it there. You would want to grab it and keep it. So visit their showroom today at Adenta, or you can also visit them on your social media portals or platforms and also get details of Tekura. And of course, you'd be able to also mark the Heritage Month like we are doing here. Even after that, you can still have it in your home. And we want to also tell you that the furniture you can see here, one of them was used for the Black Panther movie 2022. Yeah, so it tells you that we have really gone far. So you would want to also grab it and get it in your home, and also showcase it as we all commemorate or celebrate the Heritage Month here in Ghana. So we are moving away from the announcement now, and we have a very last one that has to do with this one, the rags and riches, the dual impact of used clothing. This is actually airing today. It's airing tonight on TV at 6:30 p.m. So you'd want to make a date with us so you can be able to watch what exactly this documentary is about. I'm sure you've gone out there to buy what we call Obroni Whale Force, but you don't know the impact it's having on our environment. So you'd want to watch this documentary this evening so that you understand better what our environment is becoming as we are all patronizing that is Obroni Whale Force used clothing. So you would make a time with us this evening at 6:30 and get to watch this particular documentary. Chris, I think we have to move straight into the trends.
Yes.
And subsequently into a community close to us.
Yeah. So let's head straight into the trends. And one of the first stories here that came out, I think, yesterday that everybody's talking about is Iran dropping out of the upcoming World Cup. And obviously, we know why Iran has decided to drop out of the upcoming World Cup. Clearly, it has to do with what is going on with the United States and Israel. So Iran has announced that it will not be taking part in the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. This was made known by the country's sports minister, Ahmad Mali, who said that there are no conditions under which the national team can take part in the tournament amid escalating conflict with the United States and Israel. The sports minister said the decision follows recent military strikes by the United States and Israel that killed Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, and triggered a wider regional conflict. The World Cup is scheduled to take place from June 11 to June 19 and will be jointly hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Iran has already qualified for the tournament after finishing top of the Group A in the Asian qualifier and had been drawn in group with Belgium, Egypt, and New Zealand. Their group stage matches were scheduled to take place in Los Angeles, Seattle, Los Angeles and Seattle in the United States. And also, the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, said he had received assurances from the U.S. President Donald Trump that Iran team will be welcome to compete in the tournament despite rising geopolitical tension.
Do you think they should go?
No, I don't think they should go.
No, they shouldn't.
I clearly don't think they should go because whatever that is happening in their country sort of affects each and every, not even sort of, it actually definitely affects each and every one of them. And also with how the president of the United States is moving, his ways cannot be trusted in the sense that who knows if they just land there. Hey, catch them, catch all of them, you know? Who knows? As soon as they just land to the airport. Iran, all of you, the black door, straight, that line.
It's not safe. It's not safe.
It's not safe.
Yeah. I think it's a good decision they've withdrawn, and they are not part of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It's a good move.
But you know, apart from that, what I see is that with this move, it's possible we might see some countries also doing the same thing, because not everybody really supports what's going on right now. Do you understand?
Well, let's see how that is going to unfold. I'm sure Yao Minta will be on the set later this morning, and we'll ask him details about that. He is with the sports desk, so we'll be asking him if there is or there could be a chance that other countries will also want to pull out. But for now, we know that Iran says that no, we are not going to be part of this one, and obvious reasons. We all know why. What is happening in their country, US, Israel, Iran, we know what is happening. So this is it. We have comments on this. Let's bring in the comments. The rest of the world should be concerned. Well, this is coming from, there's a message. How will FIFA determine the replacement country if Iran pulls out? Let's see how that turns out to be. Iran out. Shall I read this message for me?
Iran out. Nigeria should be drafted in. Who knows?
Okay. Sad that ordinary athletes end up paying the price of political decisions and wars they had nothing to do with. Well, we can't take it away. It's a country, so definitely whatever decision or whatever happens to this particular country will definitely happen to its citizens. Chris, read that particular message that just came on the screen and please bring back that message. Yes.
They should replace them with Nigeria.
Right. Right, my fellow Nigerians, right? You people want to go, eh? Oh,
I already have a Ghanaian jersey.
Okay, you have a Ghanaian jersey. Okay, other more comments on that, and I think that people are actually saying that no, that's the last one. These people get agenda on them for cancel the World Cup serve. Anyway, that's what they're saying.
Well, no. With what's going on right now, as we might think it's something that just affects 3 countries, but it affects everybody.
Yeah.
It affects everybody. Yesterday there was a very big blast that had to do with an oil depot. yesterday. I don't know, I forgot which country exactly, but it was an Israeli thingy that actually hit that place. And it had to do with an oil depot. So really, if this affects the oil price, it's affecting everybody.
It's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that the decision that Iran has taken, well, we'll be assessing that decision on the show, and we will be giving you updates on that. But this is what is coming in now, that Iran says that, no, we are not participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Do you have another more comment?
Yeah.
Another more story?
Yeah, Shatta Wale to feature John Legend on a song. And this is actually very exciting because he announced it yesterday. John Legend is trending right now on the Ghanaian social media, primarily because the announcement, because of the announcement and buzz around the upcoming collaboration with Ghanaian artist Shatta Wale. Their new single titled "And Nobody" is set to drop on March 2026, and multiple recent posts on X, especially from Ghanaian users and music promoters, are hyping it up as a major fusion of reggae dancehall with R&B soul, calling it a global track and sharing teasers of announcements and graphics. This cross-continental feature has generated excitement, with some posts noting it's causing a stir. And that's it from Shatta Wale. Let's check out the comments on this. Beyonce, Vybz Kartel, and John Legend. Shatta's catalog is loaded. The local champion has done it again. How do you do it? We brag different. Original settings, SM for life. And yeah, that's it by Shatta Wale on his Instagram page.
Shatta. Don't ever underrate Shatta. Well, you know what Shatta can do.
Oh, we won't underrate him. It's our guy.
Look at what's on the screen.
John Legend. Why he beloved?
Anyway.
You know, that's the first question that I also asked. I'm like, is it a love song?
Oh, but Shatta sings well.
No, it's not about Shatta not singing well.
You know,
He actually sings well.
The Street Crown.
I love that song.
Yeah, so I think that the kind of song he does, he goes both ways.
Yeah.
He can play every role.
Yeah.
If you were to
because
be a
even no one would have imagined him with Beyonce on the track, but it worked.
So let's see how that one is going to turn out to be. Anyway, another trend that also went around is from the Food and Drugs Authority. Let me bring you this one briefly. So plastic in plantain chips, a myth. This is coming from the Food FDA, that the Food and Drugs Authority yesterday. Yes, that was a statement that was issued yesterday. So the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Kwabna Adade Ejay, has dismissed online claims that vendors are adding plastic to oil used to fry plantain chips to make them crispier. So if you go out there and you buy the plantain chips, they also came out with a statement yesterday that if you observe that it was fried with plastic, you should make report to the Food and Drugs Authority. So yesterday on Channel 1 Newsroom, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer described the report as false and misleading, noting that such myths are not exclusive to Ghana. So if you've been following the story, there was a video that came out that the plantain chip sellers do fry the plantain chips with plastic and all that for it to be crispier, so that when you buy, someone said that you have that gray sound in your mouth. So, and with that, without that gray sound, people wouldn't buy it, or people wouldn't enjoy it. So that's it. It's been created like that and all that. So he explained that the FDA is still carrying out nationwide market checks to investigate the allegations, but so far there is no evidence that plastic has been used in frying plantain chips. So he spoke extensively yesterday on Channel 1 Newsroom.
You see, it's actually very, very it's a very complicated issue. It's not a straightforward issue. For me, okay, I know he's doing his job, but you cannot just come out and say that it's a lie. It does not happen. Because we have seen it on TikTok. There are videos on TikTok that are showing people frying it with, you know, plastics. And why this is actually very important for them to look at is microplastics or nanoplastics have been found in human bodies. And it's actually very pervasive to the body. And it also have shown that some of them are in people's blood, lungs, placenta, even your testicles. Because even some people's semen are presenting, you know, nanoplastics and microplastics
but this
in
could
them.
come from another
I know,
issue,
I know.
not
I
the
know,
plantain
I
chips.
know, I know. But they need to look at it because there are videos that have come up on TikTok that shown people frying it with plastic bags.
Well, he
plastic
said
bags
that
because they want it to be crispy and they say they want it to separate.
Well, but he says that they are still carrying out a nationwide market check to investigate
But how
the
are
allegations.
you going to? How are you going to? Tell
So FDA, we need you. FDA, we've been calling on you for a very long time so that you come and explain a few things. Well,
it's not on the plantain for your eyes to see.
So you don't think it's enough? What they've said
it's not enough. It's not enough.
They need to do more.
Yeah, they need to do more. You cannot just come out and just say, refute what people say. Oh, no, no. People have seen it. There's always a truth to, you know, some gossip somewhere.
There's an iota of truth in there.
Exactly.
Okay. From per what the people are saying
because
in the public space.
If you didn't see someone frying it, if you didn't know that there's a method of frying it with plastic, you won't come out and say, I won't just wake up and say, okay, let me just imagine this. Hey, people do this. No, somebody must have seen it.
Okay, that's fine. So Chris has made her point, but the FDA, you have a lot of work to do. If really you'd have to get this thing done and done well, then maybe some sort of surveillance or how you're going about your investigation and all that, maybe you'd have to also disclose this to the media. And also people who are doing it, please desist from it. Yes, we want the great sound, we want the crispiness, but we are not saying that kill us. No.
The truth is that if you're not green, let's move on.
You move on anyway.
If the plantation refused to gray, we need something else now.
So finally, before we move to our communities, I really don't know if we have the video to this particular one, but the Interior Minister yesterday said something which raises a lot of questions, and people are wondering whether are we really addressing the issue of unemployment in this country or we are still creating more. I've heard from other quarters that people, some people were sort of gainfully employed but still want to switch to the security sectors. That is how come the numbers shot up. So the Interior Minister yesterday said that only 5,000 positions available for 105 qualified security service applicants. This story that I'm reading actually, yesterday he said that 500,000 of Ghanaians actually went in or applied for their security services jobs. But let's hear from the horse's own mouth, the Interior Minister, Mutaka Mubarak.
Total space we have to be able to recruit in this first phase, and my emphasis, first phase of the recruitment process, it's only 5,000. And yet you have over 500,000 Ghanaians who want to join. So you have to use a system that is devoid of human interference to enable the system to carry you to that end. All these things are things that you use, and through that, some people will fall along the way to enable you get, someone said, about the best of best. So I know a lot of young people may be disappointed, but they should exercise restraint. The police force that we have, the number that we have, just as I mentioned, 49,000 plus, immigration about 18,000 plus, fire about 17,000 plus, prisons about 14,000 plus, narcotics control about 3,000 plus. When you put all of them together, they are less than 100,000. They are less than 100,000. But even that, the wage bill on them is about 13 billion. So if the resources were there, I mean, I would have been the happiest person if we were able to recruit about 500,000 more security people. But let's be practical. Will our economy be able to absorb that? We all know that practically that is not possible. If you have a police of 50,000 can you really take 130,000 and add to an existing 49,000? So this is where we found ourselves, and I want to plead with the rank and file of our youth to appreciate that. That's why we introduce a number of other measures that we are hoping into the future may even help us.
Yeah, so that was the Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak. A number of people are talking about it. So you have only 5,000 slots, and you let people queue at our work and other places. We are having about 500,000 applicants.
500,000,
if really the number is like that. Asking them to buy the forms, which we understand is around 220 Ghana cedis. So you do the maths yourself, see how much the security services are earning, and a lot of things people are saying. But we'll be monitoring the space. Let's bring you some comment on this, what you've been saying out there concerning this particular story. But let's bring you the comments now if we do have. So this one says that in 2028, God's willing, most of the voters will be using AI to vote. Yes, this brings me to this one too. The questions that were given to the applicants. Chris, if you see some of the questions, you cannot answer.
I heard something about hibernation this morning.
Yes. And there were other ones about sports. Other ones about, there was one I heard this morning. It's escaped me. Maybe you should check out the questions.
It's probably general knowledge.
Yes, but you see, it's like elimination by rough tactics, because you need to get a few people into the system. Well. Anyway, let's bring you more comments. Okay, so this one, where how can you ask how old was David when he killed Goliath? Really? Was that part of the question?
Oh, no. I don't want to believe that's true.
Was that part of the question? Really? Let's bring you more of that. We still have more. This one, my last question was, okay, so who else were another applicant? My last question was, which country was the first to fight the Chinese? I just said Ghana now. Because me, I don't know.
We didn't even like
I don't know. I really don't know. Another message. Let's bring you this message. Some applicants used the AI for the exams. How come they got disqualified? Really? So for the 4 services, only 1,000 applicants, 5,000 applicants will be recruited. Yes, the reason why I have 1,000 in my mind is because the immigration service, we understand that it's only 1,000 slots that they had,
that's available.
but we had about 183,000 applicants. So out of every one applicant that was chosen, you were chosen out of 183 people.
I feel like they should have. I feel like what they should have done is say, okay, we only have okay, yeah, we have a slot for 1,000 people,
yes,
but only 2,000 people can apply. And
yes,
and
so that you'll be able to,
exactly.
yeah.
When that 2,000 is over, you just cut it, and that's
because
it.
It also speaks of the unemployment rate in this country. When it's a very
But
good
what about the people that are employed?
Well,
that still
there
say,
are other,
okay, you know what, I'm employed, I'm a manager somewhere, but I think I want to be part of the immigration service.
Well,
maybe there's something that we don't really understand.
I want to say very good morning to our employers. God bless you all for employing us. At least we have a job to do. And you out there who do not have a job to do, there are other ways you can also get jobs. The more reason why we are still pushing that when it comes to the agri sector, it should be made very attractive so that we can have people moving into that particular space. If you have a lot of people moving into the agri sector, I'm sure, like in Kukon Kitten that has been brought in, and we are hoping that the 24-hour economy thing is going to work 1 to 3. But we have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to job creation and unemployment rate and all that in this country. Maybe the authorities should do well, and also the students that are also being churned out. Education shouldn't make us poor, because we've seen people who have come out from school, from the various universities, and because of the white-collar jobs that we need, we do not want to go and do that menial job, that we can actually use our mindset to really make it better.
No, but
that porridge that your mom is selling.
Exactly, it's not a menial job.
Yes.
It's
a big job.
It's a big
yes.
job. It's about you. Because
it's how you do it.
It's how you do
it. We'll move to our communities very soon, but let's talk about this briefly, okay?
Yeah, I don't understand why you would go to school. You will go to school, you will pass through a classroom, you learn everything, stay all those years in school, and maybe your mom is selling cocoa and then come out and still sell cocoa the same way.
So you need to change it.
Why did I go to school?
Why
did she spend all that money for me to go to school to come and sit? No. Mommy, we are building kiosks.
So you need to make it
Mommy, we
attractive.
are doing the kiosks. We are doing the cocoa in nice, even calabash, something. You know,
garnish it.
Yeah. You know, we are putting coconut flakes on it. You know, something different.
I think things. Well, let's see. I know a friend of mine who went to school, completed and all that. Now came back home with her university and MA in communications. Came back home and is now managing her mom's kinky business. That was a generational business. And when you visit their end, the way she's been able to transform the place, she has people that she's delivering to in various offices. Recently, she got a deal of about 25,000 Ghana cedis to just do kinky for a group of friends. And so you see, you can add on and shall build value. It's not only the security services that can give us job. I was very sad when I saw it yesterday. Actually, 5,000 people actually want 500,000 people wanting 5,000 jobs. Anyway, let's move straight into our communities. And the community we are entering is actually in the Upper West region, and this also speaks of the challenges we have in this particular country when it comes to education. After this, you understand why people are having issues when it comes to whatever goes on in their minds, what they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to change their communities, how they are supposed to learn, which is very terrible. Let's bring you this report filed by Upper West Regional Correspondent Martina Zabok.
1986. Gorpie Sedea EA Kindergarten has not seen any major renovation over the years. The kindergarten block is now in a deteriorated state, with broken doors and windows and visible weakened structures. The poor condition of the classroom presents daily challenges for both teachers and pupils. With no proper desks or chairs, children sit or lie on bare floor, often soiling their uniforms, while limited space makes classroom management difficult and causes some pupils to move about during lessons. The assembly member for Goropie as electoral area, Mohammed Awal, has appealed to government and relevant stakeholders to urgently address the infrastructure deficit affecting the community basic school.
We are in need of a KG block. So last time we went to the MP to also help us build a new block for our children. So it is upon that the MP is saying that we should go and wait. Maybe when the funds arrive, they will do the needful. So we went to Honorable DCE to also help us. As you can see, the people are exposed. So we don't have good structures to contain this young ones.
The head teacher, Adam Inusa, also called for the immediate construction of a dedicated kindergarten block, stressing that the severe lack of infrastructure continue to hinder effective teaching and learning.
The main challenge of the school is a KG block. We want a KG block. That's the main challenge. If you get a KG block, learning and teaching will be very effective. When it is learning, we always allow them to go home. They can listen in the school. We always allow them to go home because of the infrastructure.
Some parents in the community have expressed concern that the poor learning environment is negatively impacting their children's education, warning that without urgent intervention, pupils may continue to lose focus and fall behind academically.
At school, Malabo, Yalani Tibi Bilini, Paul Santa, Kabama Suma,
I find Como was school, so called Leo Gadio, I find he better than Libra and Abda from Kina Bamba Hope, the Giana, Hela de Yarrow.
To go out to caging or yellow or dog hatan. I hear we yellow better than Nimbiri. Simply now, government, one under number was on that. At the Media Kutika, Kermon Paga, a bee in being. I want to break time. Curly Yuba Canada.
My uncle government call center. What a piece idea, KG. Osanya Kabi Himan Wobe. Adiaga, but no, you have losing. Kababon with the Adiaga Banga, your Blane Malo was who got the Oberman Lebeba. So, Tumbo or Sumbo Ayibasa, Boston Takabi Himan Watu Lane meets a guide.
So that is the story from Martina Zabok, who is our Upper West Regional correspondent. This is just to paint a picture of what is happening in the school. We'll be speaking to her soon to give us details of this particular story, whether it's pertain to only the children at the basic level. Let me put it at the say between kindergarten to class 3, yeah. Or it's also with maybe students or pupils from class 4 to class 6, and also the students from GHS 1 to GHS 3. Martina, good morning.
Good morning, Philip.
I trust you're doing well.
I'm fine. And
so
you?
I'm doing good. So this is the Group A school, right?
Group A, say there.
Okay, that's fine. The situation, is it only with the kindergarten to maybe class 3, or as with the entire school?
So the Group A, say there kindergarten.
Mm.
So what you see is actually what is the problem they have in the school. So it's only the kindergarten who doesn't have furniture, and they don't even have a block.
Wow.
Yes, but from class 1 up to GSS, they are a little bit comfortable. But with the kindergarten, it's just what you are seeing on the screen.
Okay. So when you visited the school, were you told why kindergarten class doesn't have furniture for the pupils?
Yes, so according to the head teacher, he told me that since the kindergarten began, they had a place, but it was a temporary place until that place wasn't conducive anymore. So they gave them this old block. So the block we are seeing is an old school block. So they had to give that old school block for the kindergarten to use for a meantime, so that they can construct a new kindergarten block for them. But since that while till now, they've not had any help, or they've not had any additional support apart from what we are just seeing.
Wow. Did the head teacher tell you which group was actually putting up the structure? Was it from the community, from the Ghana Education Service, from the district assembly? Who exactly was putting up that structure?
Actually, it was, he told me that it was the old school group, but actually he didn't specify the year groups, but just old school groups, and then the community also came to support, to actually help in the kindergarten, to help the kindergarten. But I think, they are not able to get funds anymore, so that couldn't continue anymore. So this is just what they are using for the meantime.
Did you get a chance to speak to the teacher of the class?
Yes, so I spoke to one of the madams in the class, and she said this is how they've been coping all this while. It has not been easy for them, but they don't have any option because they are being paid to teach these kids. So sometimes, especially during rainy season, it's always hectic. So sometimes they even have to leave close the disperse the peoples to go home, because you can see in the this thing, you can see in the screens the windows you can see are not closed, so that when it is raining they can close them, and then the peoples will be at safety. So especially during rainy season, they are not able to contain the students, so they just let them go home, and then that's it.
All right. So Martina, how long has this been for?
According to the head teacher, this has been there for very long years past. Actually, he didn't specify the number of years, but he said since the kindergarten, they were in a temporary structure. Then they moved them to this old block. So since then up to now, this has been the issue.
And what do the parents say about it? I mean, these
Actually,
are people's children.
The parents poured out their frustration, but they are hoping and willing that maybe the government or any NGO come to their aid, because in Golpie, this is the only even though there is another Hamadia school, but this is the kindergarten most of the community bring their children to.
Yeah.
So they are hoping that maybe the government will come in or an NGO will come in to give them a new KG kindergarten block that can suit their children.
Right, but is this the first time that they are reaching out for help? Is this the first time they are reaching out to the government?
Actually, the assemblyman told me that this is not the first time that they've been going. The previous government, they've laid their complaints to them, and they told them that they will, and so they went out of government, and then this new government too, they've gone there, and they are hoping that maybe things will change.
Martina, thank you so much for your time. We are most grateful, and joining us is the District Chief Executive for Wa East, Adamu Seibu, who will let us understand what they are doing from their end to ensure that pupils within in the kindergarten class of Group A, Sayidaya School, they are doing about it to ensure that they get furniture. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This morning we are not fine here, so I only want to ask you whether you are fine or not, because saying what we are watching on TV is not that okay with us. Having pupils in kindergarten sleep on the floor and for teaching and learning to go on isn't something to write home about. First, has this gotten to your table, and if yes, what has been done about it as the District Chief Executive of the area?
Good morning to your viewers. This issue that you have just mentioned is not a new thing in the Wise District. In fact, we have similar cases across most of our communities. But Goripie is one of our communities that has large population, and in fact we have two schools there. We have the TI Ahmadiyya School, and then we have the Saidiya School as well. Goripie Saidiya School has not got any befitting structure for KG pupils. In fact, the current structure they are using was not built purposes for KG pupils, and it needs serious renovations. The Assembly has plans to take this on board. In fact, in our 2026 annual budget, the Saidiya KG block was captured, and we are mobilizing funds to see how we can award the project to a contractor to execute the project for us. And when it is done, it's going to be a modern KG block. When it is finished, then we'll make sure we finish it with modern furniture. But if we look at our common fund guidelines, 10% has been allocated for furniture for our basic schools. And we have the mono decks, we have the dual decks, then we have the hexagonal decks for the KG pupils. And that's exactly what we are doing. So in the meantime, we are procuring the furniture, while we're also putting our resources together to make sure the KG block is also awarded a contract. And it is my hope that at least by next close of this year, there will be a befitting classroom block for Saidia KG block in Gorupie. So that is the plans we have for that school.
So are these plans certain by next year that it will be done, or this is just something we should probably keep our fingers crossed for and pray and hope that it happens?
Yes, we have different sources of funding. We have the Common Fund, we have the SOCO, and fortunately for our district, we've also been able to pass the DPAT assessment. So these three sources of funding, at least one of them will be available. In fact, we are very sure that three will be available, but at least one will be available. And once we have prioritized it, we will make sure it is done. As I indicated, that community has population, and seeing the number of people that we have lie on floor is very bad for us, and we wouldn't want to be experiencing this across our district. But we are putting measures to reduce this menace in the district.
Okay, so while we are waiting for the big one to be done next year, are there any, makeshift items that you can help them with? Maybe mats, mats.
Even furniture.
Yeah,
we can still have
little
it.
furniture.
Yeah,
you understand?
We can still have it in a class.
Yes, so we can look at temporary arrangements for the kids for now. So when this issue got to me, I also liaised with the PTA and liaised with the community members to see how we can organize something for the kids for now, so that they can have befitting furniture to be able to learn, so that teaching and learning can go on while we wait for our intervention. But once the community is not responding, so it means we have to go in again and see how we can support this kids to have a very good environment for learning for the meantime.
Adamo, do you know how many pupils we are talking about here?
I don't know the exact number, please. I don't know the exact number. Because I don't have the data offhand in my head.
And when you started, you said this isn't new, as something that is actually happening within the Y East district. Why is it so? Why is it that we will have a number of schools in the districts and we wouldn't have furniture for teaching and learning to go on?
In fact, the furniture that we've been providing for the past years has always been the wooden ones. And if you go to most of the schools, you see them broken. You see them packed in some of the wretched classrooms. In fact, the maintenance culture is very bad here. And because of that, we are shifting from the wooden furniture to the metal ones. Because of that experience. In fact, it's not that furniture has not been provided for the past years, but the maintenance culture is the problem. So that is why this time around we are providing metal furniture so that we can sustain them for a longer period of time.
Well, before you take leave of us, I'm sure that with your position that you have, you can also speak to organizations. You can speak to benevolent individuals. There are prominent people coming from the northern part of the country, even the southern part of the country, the middle belt. Everyone would be willing to help. Has there been any step taken in this regard to get people to come and help?
Yes, I have spoken to the Member of Parliament.
Who is?
Dr. Godfrey Jasau.
Okay, Jasau. Okay, good.
Yes. In fact, as I indicated, the problem is prevalent. In fact, he has been able to provide 250 furniture, dual decks, that we just distributed recently. But looking at the nature of those furniture, the people at the kindergarten level cannot use them. So I have spoken to him to see how we can intervene for the meantime for us to get these good kids for these children furniture. But I have spoken to Plan Ghana. We recently have a meeting with them. In fact, they have a project that they are bringing to our district, and it's part of the furniture issue. Is also another. It's part of the project that they are coming to implement. So I've spoken to them. I've spoken to Well Vision. So a number of organizations that I have spoken to support our district with furniture, so that students can have a good learning environment.
Okay, that's a very good one that you've spoken to these people. But while speaking to these people, obviously we've seen the age of the age bracket of, you know, the children that we are watching right now. And it seems like when you are asking for this furniture, you don't really explain that, okay, these are the children that need it. Because most of what you just said, you got some, but they are not fit for the children because of their age. So is it possible that next time while you are asking, you can say, okay, these are kindergarten kids? Because it seems like at the end of the day, when furniture is brought, the kindergarten kids and kids in nursery seem to suffer a lot. This is not the first time we're reporting such on this show. And they are the ones always bearing the brunt because the chairs are too long, the chairs are too wide, you know, because it's not their size.
In some cases, I even send pictorial evidences to them to see some of the situation across some of the schools, and so that they can take notice of that in terms when they are trying to support, so that they can support with appropriate furniture for the kids.
Adamu, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, sir.
He is the District Chief Executive for WA East, and that's a story brought to you from the Upper East region, specifically at Group PA Sanyada, where we understand the challenge of having to get somewhere to sit. The kindergarten pupils do not sit down to learn. They are just moving about in the class because they do not have furniture. And I think the right thing must be done immediately. Whoever is watching, be it organizations, be it the government, let the needful be done, please. We beg you. Anyway, we move away from this and we bring you the on-air series for Heritage on-air series that I've been doing here. And today we are still sitting with Kweku Danko Ankra. Bernard Avle is sitting with him. And we are talking about Ghana's independence and colonial struggles, part 1. Stay with us and enjoy.
Ago.
So welcome to another edition of the Heritage On Air series for our Heritage Month 2026. My name is Bernard Avle, and today we're looking at Ghana's independence and our colonial struggles. Some key times, key people, and key places. My guest, as usual, is our historian and friend, Kweku Danko Ankra. Stay with us.
In the heart of Africa, where the warmth of our people meets the beauty of our land, there's a pride that soars high. Welcome to South African Airways. At SAA, we're more than an airline. From the gold...
Do you want a healthy smile?
So what we do to rid all of that bacteria is we do what's called a deep cleaning or periodontal therapy. So that is 2 visits. You'll come in and we'll make sure you're very comfortable because that bacteria is very hard. It doesn't want to leave. Yeah. So we need to get you numb. So we'll get you numb on one side, the right side, let's say, and top and bottom, and then we'll go through just a disinfection process. And we may have you use also like a rinse to kind of aid in that process because we want your gums to get healthy. Mm-hmm. Then we do the other side, and after that, it's kind of like hypertension. It doesn't ever go away, but we can control it and get the gums healthy. We can't, because the bone shrinks, so we can't regrow the bone, we can't regrow the gums, but we can keep it healthy where it's at and make sure that you don't lose more bone. Because when you have periodontal disease, it's kind of like your teeth are in quicksand, so we need to stabilize things. So you would need to come back after you get the therapy every 3 months.
Healthy smile.
Welcome back to our on-air series here on 97.3 CDFM and Channel 1 Television for 2026. So Kweku Danko Ankra has been talking to us about various histories. We want to go to the famous independence story, but I guess you start from colonialism and the encounter with our leaders, and also talk later on about some key traditional leaders and the role they played. Where do we start the discussion from?
Okay, so to start this discussion, we have to understand that Gold Coast before was a committee of states, And in fact, before when the European came in 1471, I mean the Portuguese, the issue of state formation was still going on. Not all states were even founded. And somewhere there was inter-ethnic war going on, states trying to find their very existence and so on. So when the Portuguese came in 1471, there are a number of towns that they mentioned that they were on the coast. So they identified the people of Elmina. In fact, they landed in Yabio in 1471, and then they proceeded to go to Elmina. They were in Shama, and then over the years they see the Fantis were also on the coast. The Ogbai people at Fetu were also around there, and there was Egwafu, all those pre-colonial states, and then the Akan Fantis have also come at Anamabo, Komante, and all those areas. So over the years they transacted business, and as our history shows, various European powers came to the Gold Coast. First with the Portuguese, followed by the Spanish, and then we have the Dutch. In the 1500s, 1560s, late 1560s, there was a war between the Dutch and the Portuguese, and they defeated the Portuguese, and the Portuguese left the country. Over a time, the French also came in. In fact, French were here even before the British. So the French also came in, they were trading. The Denmark came in, Sweden came in, and then the British also came in. And all these people had traded with the Gold Coasters for a very long time. And this went on for a very long period. Then getting to somewhere in the, what we call the 18th century, some of them started repatriating back and they were not interested. So others also remained. And those who remained were the French, the Sweden, and then the Portuguese, the British. They were there, as well as the Danes. So while this was ongoing, there was a contestation and resistance activities between the Gold Coast in the manner of trade that was happening. And they were able to exert their autonomy over anything that they felt that the Europeans were doing that was not wrong. Because during those periods, there was no treaties of any attempt to colonize. All what was happening was that they were trading partners. So you could not come and show them what to do. And this also went on until getting to the 19th century when the major shift occurred. So in the 19th century, we saw...
By 19th century, you mean the 1800s?
1800s. Certain changes started occurring. So in the middle of the 19th century, we find that the Swedes, there was a war. The Swedes lost the war, and with the, how do you call it, with the Danes, so they left. That's why. So the Swedes were the people who made the Cape Coast Castle, okay? And when they were defeated, the Danes took over, and so on. And then they built the Christopher Castle as well as the Fort Presenstein in Keta.
So the Danes built Presenstein and Christianborg.
Yeah. And so when this contest, after Sweden has left, then he left with the French. So French became what we call interlopers. And they also made an attempt to sign an agreement, particularly with the people of Anamago, to have a position there, but they fought. And in that war, they also lost to the English, the British. And then both the Danes sold their properties to the British, and later on, the Dutch also sold their properties to the British. So British then later became the only major power that was trading with the Africans or the Gold Coasters at the time.
So at this time, the colony would not extend beyond the Pra Basin and would not also extend to some parts of Togo. So this would be the southern part of the country.
The southern part of the country. So
wonderful.
What happened was that at that period, getting to the early 1800s, a lot of occurrences have occurred. As I started, some states have not even emerged from the very beginning. If you look at 1471, even Achim has not become a state. They have not moved to where they are settling today. Some ethnic groups like those has not moved to where they are. Even Ashanti as a kingdom has not even occurred. And Equiapim as a kingdom has also not occurred. And Akomu were still hinged also at the Pra Basin. So all those times, the migration was all going throughout the period I discussed about between 1471 and up to the 18th century I talk about. So in Ashanti, for instance, we know that it was created in 1700 after the Feyaso, as I've discussed. You have the Akomus were there before the Ashanti state was founded. You have, how do you call it? Equiapim state, which was created in 1733 with the Abutechi Accord, which created that new state after the 1713 war of anxiety between the Hiliguans and then the Akwamu, supported by the Southern Allies and so on. And then Ashanti itself, as I said, was also created in 1700. So you will see that there was ongoing formations even when the whites were here. That's what people don't know.
But in the 19th century, the 1800s, when everybody sold to the British, at that time, the Fantis, as you said the Fantis were a confederacy. They were not necessarily together. So they knew each other, but they were not acting as one kingdom.
Yes, so they also joined together when they swore because they have a common authority at Marxism. Okay. But all throughout this period, some of these states begin to have their own autonomy and created their chiefs. So by 1800, the power up to 1800 going, the power of Mankesima has diminished. Everybody has created their own chiefs in their own community and they have their autonomy and doing what they want. So then the states have emerged. So all these things went on and Ashanti's power also started coming from 1800. In fact, it started in the late 1780s when Ashanti power started to show. And so by I'm talking about their southward expansionism. Inland, they have conquered anybody who matters. Up to the Pra Basin, they have conquered all of them. And they have even moved up to the north, up to Gabon area, conquering all those territory up north. But it didn't reach south because of the European presence in the south. So the first major attempt to come to the coast was the issue that I discussed about the Achimi chiefs running to come to hide among the two Asini chiefs running to come and hide within the Fanti state, leading to the first major what we call the Southern Campaign of the Ashanti in 1806, 1807. That is when their power then entered into the coastal states.
So when did the territory become an official protectorate of the British?
So what happened was that when this occurred, the British tried to also protect their traders or people they have been having some sort of semi-judicial treaties with them, which they sort of have to protect. Okay, so their policy was changing. So when the Fantis were defeated in the 1807, McCarthy came. And when McCarthy came, he realized that there's the need to give support to the coastal states. Other than that, they will all become Ashanti's territory. So that led to the Battle of Nsamanko, that war in 1824. Okay, and then Ashanti defeated the coastal allies with the British. And then there was a retaliatory war, which is in the 1826, which is the Battle of Katamanso. So in the Battle of Katamanso, that the Ashantis were totally defeated. When they were defeated, they were not able to have the overreach back to the coastal territory again. So the British took advantage and then signed an agreement, which is the Treaty of Formina in 1831. And in this treaty, the Ashantis were made to pay a certain amount of money and never to also encroach into any territory that claimed to be under the British autonomy or British protectorate. And so this will lead them to move further to sign the Bond of 1844 to give that protection to all the southern coastal states, that including some interior ones, that later also signed that.
So this bond was 6th March 1844?
Yeah, that was signed.
So some people think that 1844 was the beginning of official colonization.
It wasn't official colonization. In fact, if you read the whole, it is a 3-sentence, documents, sort of. One is talking about they should stop slavery, any archaic practices like human sacrifice, pioneering. The other one talks about to give protection to the coastal states or the chiefs who have signed that. Initially, there were 8 fancy chiefs. Later on, different ones signed until they were more than 20 and over. And so the last one was also about that they will exercise some semi-autonomy where Her Majesty's canon. So if you interpret it, in fact, about the car and the Dubuahin and many other people, because all have works on it showing that bond of 1844 did not give British any autonomy. What it states is that any places that were under the Her Majesty's fort, they will have autonomy. So where the British were trading, where the forts and castles are, their autonomy reaches there. But beyond that, they had no autonomy. Unfortunately, they took advantage of this and then they started to exert authorities they don't have beyond what
so
is stipulated.
It's not as if the Fanti chiefs signed to give away their territory to the British. It was the British who just usurped the limited understanding of the bond to do other things which were not necessarily captured in that agreement.
Within the bond, that is it. So that is what we call the British expansion of their judicial authority when they don't have that authority to do so. And because some issues in the hinterland, which were supposed to even be solved by the chiefs, they bring it to the castle. This was against actually the tenets of the bond of 1844. And in fact, the bond of 1845, I tell you, was it is an enhancement of what has already been signed in 1831. So this is what went on, and the British still doesn't have autonomy over the coastal people until the final fight when the Ashantis tried to also come back to the coast again in breach of the agreement they have signed in 1831 that they will not move beyond where the British, anybody or any state that claims to be under British protection, they are not supposed to encroach. The Ashantis moved further again, and so there was war. And then in that war, British Ashantis later went back, and then the British realized that there is the need to stop further Ashanti encroachment, that periodic incursions that they come and go. There is the need to.
So you're talking of first 1874, the Sagranti War.
Yeah.
And then later on the Yasa.
No, I've not reached Sagranti War yet. Still because so this after the bond of 1844, the Ashantis, the 1831 agreement and the bond of 1844, Ashantis were not supposed to encroach.
So when did they start the encroachment?
They started encroachment from 1863. Okay, there were encroachment where they even moved all the way to Ejumako. Sometimes they move all the way to pra areas which were against the tenets of the agreement that they have signed in 1831. So in 1873, all the coastal states came together, joined Seganet Wesley, who have been sent to enter into what is called a punitive or expedition, which is to punish them and put them to where they belong so that they don't encroach to where they are not supposed to be. And so that led to the Ashanti invasion of 1873. And all the coastal states, the Gans, the Evers, all the Achans, the Kwapim, the Fantis, all joined together and then joined the British Army. And then they invaded Ashanti.
This is Heritage Month on a series coming to you on 97.3 CDFM and of course Channel 1 Television. We're discussing colonialism and independence. Kweku Dakwankra is a historian. Stay with us.
Do you want a healthy smile?
Hey, Dr. Ramsey.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. So when the patients come in, I usually say, we only do regular cleanings if your mouth is healthy, which means you don't have a lot of hard plaque buildup underneath your gum or above your gum line. You don't see a lot of bleeding when you're brushing or flossing. There's no shaky teeth, no inflammation going on.
Right. And if they do have all those things that you mentioned, then they need to have a different type of cleaning, which is called a deep cleaning or periodontal therapy. Also could be called scaling and root planning. Sounds a little bit scary, but it's not. Basically, you have a lot of hardened plaque underneath the gum line where you can't see with your eyes. And that bacteria is causing an infection. And that's what's causing the gums to puff up and bleed. Some people notice bad breath odor that no matter how they brush, they floss, it won't go away.
Healthy smile.
Welcome back to our on-air series on Heritage Month 2026. My name is Bernard Avle. We're still looking at colonialism and independence. We've got Akwankra has been speaking to us. So you've mentioned a number of dates. Of course, 1831 Treaty of Fomena, 1844 Bond. You've also mentioned the Battle of Nsamanko. You've mentioned the Akatamanso Battle. You had just finished talking about the Sagrenti War and its build-up.
Yeah.
So it was fought in 1874.
1873.
73. So the southern states and the British fought against Ashanti.
Yeah.
What was the outcome and what happened after?
So the outcome was that Ashanti was defeated, and then they have to sign an agreement again, and also to make payments in breach of the 1831 agreement. And so after that, the British now have to make a move. And Elmina question came in because Elmina and some other states were under the Dutch territory and so on. So there was the need to bring them on board. So after the Elmina issue was settled and the Dutch has given those territory to the British, then they moved with the other in council to secure the colonization pact. And they had it, and in 1886, Gold Coast became the British colony. So our colonialism then started.
And the official territories would then be the
Southern Gold Coast.
Was Ashanti
Ashanti was not part of it.
Not part of it.
We have the Achim, the Asin areas, through the Sefi, through Trefu, and then the Anwin areas, all to the southern and Zaba areas. All the coastal states were involved. Accra and others, all of them were involved. The Adan, the Krobo areas, all of them were became part of Southern Gold Coast.
Which would include parts of Angola, but not beyond.
Yes, part of Angola and then Kowu areas. It took time over. Certain treaties were signed with them. So by the time we reach 1890s, all those areas have signed different treaties to come and become part of the Gold Coast colony.
I was pointing that out because there's a difference between, there was Transvolta Togoland,
yes,
which was from Ho all the way through to what is presently Bimbela, which were not part of the colony.
That's why I'm coming to. So Anwa and others didn't come in by 1876 when we signed. They came in later. Some territories from there came to join with a lot of treaties, and these treaties continued from 1876 all the way to by 1880, and by 1880 it was getting all of them done with the exception of Ashanti and then the northern territories. So what happened was that nationalism of that period, the fight to remove the shackles from that colonial power, had already even started on the coast area by the Fantis forming the Fanti Confederation, which they thought that the British have said in 1866 that they were going to go away, and they didn't. So Ken Aggrey of Cape Coast had rebelled that he would not obey the British authority because they have said in their parliamentary meetings that they are going to go away in 1866. So he wouldn't respect the authority because they themselves claimed they were going. So he have his own authority to exert. As a result of this bold move, he was exiled. Okay, he was exiled for that move. And so the Fanti Confederation picked up that momentum and then created the Fanti Confederation that in case if British were to move, then they will form a form of government in a form of what they have learned through their education with the British to become the administration that will take over after the British have left. Then the Accra also formed their Accra Native Authority, which was also like a form of Fanti Confederation. But all these groups were proscribed by the British because they intended to colonize. So after the colonization going, there was some moments that there was some sort of peace British introduced their native jurisdictional ordinance, where chiefs were given authorities that they were going to rule through them. Native authority jurisdiction ordinance was 1878. It was amended in 1883 to give more powers to the chiefs so that they can rule through them. This went on, and the Fantis, because of their education, what they have come to know, decided to also build up ideas to counter what British were doing. So they created the Legislative Council, where some Africans of authority can be appointed into the governance. And then James Bannerman, who was a Ga, was the first person to be. Later, they added Guntu Blanksom, and then Samuel Collins Brew, and many other Gold Coasters who also formed part of it, just as a form of trying to water down the African agitation against the British rule. By 1888, the Fantis have become so powerful that in terms of their education, that they formed an organization they called Fanti Amembu Feku. And that Fanti Amembu Feku is a Fanti National Society. What they did was that they committed some people to study their native laws, history, and write them down, so that they will prove to the Europeans that they have the intellectual capability to rule themselves when the need be. So this was started. And these people, later on, when governments introduced some taxes on the elites, they then mobilized that organization very well. And Land Bill also came into effect. The Land Bill of 1894 was introduced. When the Land Bill of 1894 was introduced, then they turned the Mfanti Amembu Feku into Aborigines Right Protection Society as a nationalist vehicle to fight against the land bill that claims that any land that is unoccupied in the Gold Coast is a wasteland, and it belongs to the Queen of England. And so the Gold Coasters said, no, if you see an empty land which is empty and nobody's occupied, that doesn't mean it's a wasteland. So they contested this, and then the land bill was then remodeled when Governor Maxwell took over, remodeled it and reintroduced it again in 1897. When he reintroduced it in 1897, Saba Awono Renner and C.J. Bannerman were the people who went to the Gold Coast Legislative Council to argue that it is against everything the British themselves hold about the understanding of the native law with regards to land ownership. But the government didn't listen. So then Aboriginal Right Protection Society sent a delegation to England, into the House of Lords, and then they went and argued their case, and they won the case against the British government. And as a result, land law was abolished. Wow. So the idea of land being forcefully seized, as the British has done in East Africa and South Africa, could not occur. And as a result, in the British West Africa, land forced seizure of land, as it has gone in other places, Gold Coast saved the West African sub-region from this forced sale. Wow. And as a result of this, the Nigerian Oba of Lagos, whose land have been taken over by the Queen of England, the case is called Ahmedu Tijani case, okay, which is Chief Oluwa, who was the chief of Lagos, came to Gold Coast and came to seek advice from the Gold Coasters who fought against the British and won the case. And some of these people joined him in 1920s as a result of what the Gold Coast has done, and the case went to the British Privy Council, and they won the case, and the land, Lagos land that was for the Queen, reverted back to the Oba of Lagos.
So Lagos has a lot to say thank you to Ghana for.
They have to.
For keeping their land away from the British.
Yes, because we give them the legal representation.
Wow.
And our presidents offered opportunity for them to use to go and contest about that ownership of the land. It is a famous case, Tijani Oluwa or Ahmedu Tijani case. Wow. And most law students know about this when they want to talk about land ownership and how it evolved. So after the winning of the, how do you call it, the land case, the British then reintroduced the land law through a back door. And they call the Crown Land Law of 1911, Crown Forest Law of 1911. Crown Forest Law of 1911 states that all the forests, and now you say all the land, has owners. What about the forest? Nobody resides in the forest, so but it doesn't have owners. So the forest also is a waste. So it belongs to the Queen for conservation and other arguments. That one too, the Aboriginal Right Protection Society went to court again and won the case.
Amazing.
So this is the way they really fought in terms of nationalism to save us from our land control in those times. To understand, I'm bringing you to the first, what we call the radical protest nationalism.
We'll end this segment here and then do that in the next episode. This is the on-air series for Heritage Month. Kweku Dankwa, amazing stuff, leading from the 1470s all through to the late 1890s, where he's now touching on early nationalism. When we come back, we'll go into more protest nationalism leading to the 20th century and eventual independence. Of course, we'll say thank you for watching today's edition of our on-air series with me, Bernard Avle. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ago.
Channel 1 TV documentary, Rags and Riches, explores the unfolding challenge of thrift clothing by examining the entire value chain, from international clothing exports and local importers to market traders, consumers, and waste management systems, revealing the economic, environmental, and social implications of the global second-hand clothing trade. Watch Rags and Riches on Thursday, the 12th of March at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
This Easter, as homes fill with laughter, shared meals, and love, pause for a moment and remember a child who has no one to celebrate with. Across Ghana, children in selected orphanages are hoping for care, hoping for comfort, hoping for kindness. You can be the reason a child smiles this Easter. Support the Easter Orphan Project 2026. Your donation in cash or in kind will provide warm meals, clothing, school supplies, and essential care for their well-being. Send your mobile money donation to 0550-900-006 or write a check in the name of the City FM Foundation. You may also bring your donation to Channel 1 TV in Tesano, Accra, Ghana. You can donate milk, sugar, rice, toys, books, or detergent. For more information, visit www.citynewsroom.com or call 0550-900-006 or 0302-226-013. The Easter Orphan Project comes off on Monday, 6 April 2026 and is powered by 97.3 City FM with support from Channel 1 TV. This Easter, let your kindness light up a child's life.
Highlight on Breakfast Daily, powered by GhanaWeekend.com. My name is Major Jones. Now let's get into our very first highlight. dancehall star Shatta Wale has revealed plans to contest for the parliamentary seat in the Ablekuma South constituency as an independent candidate. The musician made the announcement during an interview with Osei Bonsu on Asempa FM. According to Shatta Wale, his decision is driven by his desire to serve the people and advocate for opportunities for the youth and the creative industry. The artist, known in private life as Charles Ni Ama Mensah Jr., says he believes his influence and connection with young people can help bring development and new ideas to the constituency. The spiritual overlord of the Ghana state, Gbobu Wulomo Chiche, has summoned the family head of the late Highlife legend Daddy Lumba following circulating claims regarding the singer's burial location in East Legon. A notice issued by the Nungwa Gbobu Wulomo raised concerns over the burial of the Highlife icon on Ghanaland. The notice preceded a statement by Councillor Lutrot on asserting that Daddy Lumba's body had been interred at his private residence in East Legon. In line with GAT traditional procedures, the family head was directed to report before the Gbobu Wulomo Chiche on Thursday, March 13th at 11 a.m. to provide the necessary information to address the concerns raised. The spiritual overlord emphasized the importance of full transparency and adherence to cultural protocols, particularly in matters involving the burial of prominent figures within the community. The Adenta Circuit Court has granted bail to Cyril George Carstensen Lutroit, popularly known as Councillor Lutroit, after he was arraigned for allegedly inciting youth to storm the residence of late Highlife musician Daddy Lumba with pickaxes. He has been charged with 1 count of offensive conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. The accused pleaded not guilty to the charge and was admitted to bail in the sum of 50,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties to be justified. Actress Juliet Ibrahim says limited technical expertise and Ghana's relatively small market size are among the key challenges facing the country's film industry. Speaking on TV3 Ghana, she noted that although Ghana once led the West African film space, countries like Nigeria and South Africa have since overtaken it due to larger populations and stronger technical structures. Juliet Ibrahim also highlighted the high level of organization on South African film sets, where specialized departments handle different aspects of production. She added that the stronger government support, investment in cinemas, and better industry structures, Ghana's creative economy could create more jobs and generate significant revenue. The hip-hop mogul, renowned for shaping the sound of modern rap and co-founding Beats by Dre, was featured on Forbes' prestigious list of the world's celebrity billionaires. Dr. Dre joins an elite group of music and entertainment icons on the list, including Rihanna and Beyoncé, highlighting his monumental impact on the global music and business landscape. With careers spanning decades, Dr. Dre's influence extends beyond music production to business ventures, endorsements, and technology, solidifying his place not only as a cultural icon but also as a titan in the entertainment industry. This milestone cements Dr. Dre's legacy as one of the most successful figures in the music history, joining a select few who have combined creative genius with entrepreneurial success on a global scale. Legendary music producer and entrepreneur Dr. Dre has officially reached the billionaire status according to Forbes. That will be it for entertainment highlights on Breakfast Daily, powered by GhanaWeekend.com. Stay with Ghana Weekend for all the crunchy stories on your favorite celebrity, events, and all things pop culture. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ghana Weekend TV. My name is Major Jones.
Ago. Ago.
Good morning, lovely people. Pure Akan. Greetings. Yeah. Send your many umi, one Jimmy, and your obi umi. Send your many umi, one so many, and your obi umi. Yeah. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Yeah. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. With the funny say, be I made a move back home. Candy penny nanny, I can't shrunken. Sambi, I'm afraid, Brissy, I'm friend to be a rassy. Hang in the misso, Comedian, you go be a ding a dancer. A child, dear, mo be a median sumiso. Down on my tomb found, and me shall cross me, piany, pemuane, and in Adamiso, Virginia, Antonia, NT, Namama Namoa, Seminumiti, yeah. As media men, Namatin, yeah. And then Yameno and album sa, or Miss Runko, album you. And I'm in Namoa, Simiti, yeah. As media men, Namatin, yeah. And then Yameno and album sa. Miss Runko, wabble you. Yeah. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Yeah. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Daddy, I message Samuel. Yes. Greetings to every one of you watching us live. This is Pure Akan. You're watching Channel 1 TV. Fatness said, if I'm young to need fatness, sir. Can't you soon me dean fatness, sir? We are school there, you may soon be bushing for and enough for you any fatness, sir. Many me one more young fatness, sir. Many me your brand name fatness, sir. Be a tiana me when you know, you call me no more, me no be out here fatness, sir. Yeah, me some yeah, fatness, sir. Me not for 4 years, yes, yeah, fatness, sir. You told the army to me home fatness, sir. You diagram me home, and so, sir. Me and the Senegal be and so, sir. I couldn't send him pesa kwa me him say send you na anya pedanti na me so a me giant man him empty say be akon the crime for fry empty say obi akon the camp me kwa me him say me do me ho na bi ama me ton me ho me se sanda yeah daddy I message Samuel daddy I message Samuel daddy I message Samuel yeah daddy I message Samuel daddy I message Samuel daddy I message Samuel me say sanda pisha and you'll be kind of matiado and you'll be kind of matiada and you'll be kind of matiado mintiado eh and you'll be kind of matiado and you'll be kind of matiada and you'll be kind of matiado mintiado do hey Shemu to Bua Ubehu, Mashishe Mungane, Hana Mabedu, Surabaphobia can't come out my Mabehu, who the son of Bosujina Sua or Ababohu, Send the Casa Diabre, my son is Satchia, no one and some Mere, Minyan and Temp, Momidi, Naman Senem Rens, or Sua Omre, Minyamehu Aboche, and if ye, Minyana home and Frefre. She shot, yeah, me too, man, yeah, man, what, yeah, they say, no, eat this year. Obiena no aya me die ntimi bisa no so yo bi dia I say, me set them quartier, me the tune, nim so, yeah, me, yeah. I can't be, yeah, what yes, yeah, and yeah, my me. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty, ah. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty, ah. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty, ah. Tio Betty, wait, yeah. I see at the end, then I come so at the say over to me. I bought bad time before I knew any day. Or her anybody so no sign her DDM. Or see up in Mukasi DM Puna Medie. Share Mena Mini, man sing a métier. Maybe and Ramadan, Madabium. Or Mamma Sama Kami Trim. So at Yasi de Dia and I'm a minim. Because my name of Busia Dimenim. Be shot, yeah. Me too, man, yeah, man, what, yeah. They say, check no, eat this, yeah. No bien na no ya me die ntimi bisa no so no bi dia I say they set nim kwatie me de tune nim so ya me die man can ye no atiasie e dia ma me ah me too me nya me wa die e say che no bi this year no bien na no ya me die ntimi bisa no so yo bi dia I say they set nim kwatie me de tune nim so ya me die again, yeah, no atiasie, Edia me. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty, ah. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty, ah. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty, ah. Tio Betty, wait, yeah, Auntie Betty.
All right, you are welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily right here, and that was Pure Akan. And of course, we also had our entertainment highlight of the day. And if you want more of that, head to GhanaWeekend.com for more of that. Now we're getting into sports.
Yeah, and Yao Menta is in the studio. Yao straight to the point. Now you know that Iran says that Charlie, we may
very likely.
Should I use the word may?
Yeah, because at this point,
yes, they're like mobium.
No, because the man said the man.
Country.
Yeah, I mean we are the Ghana one. Look, the Minister of Sports, the Iran Minister of Sports, Ahmad Donyamali, he said that he does not see a situation where Iran competes at the World Cup, which will be held in the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada. And Iran are based in the US. They will play a couple of their games in Seattle, for instance. And so he says he does not expect to see Iran at the World Cup. And many have gone ahead to say that, yeah, they won't compete at the World Cup. Yeah, if you say that, yes, it's true. But I wouldn't say it's fully true, because at the end of the day, it is the Football Federation of the Islamic Republic of Iran that holds the right or reserves the right to make such a declaration. And so, because at the end of the day, FIFA doesn't work directly with government. FIFA works with the federations.
Yeah.
So it has to boil down to them.
So has the federation said anything?
No, they haven't said anything officially yet. And so we wait to see. But it's very likely they won't compete at the World Cup. Very likely.
Very likely.
Yeah, very likely. But others have gone ahead and stated flat out that they won't compete at the World Cup. So it depends on the side of the divide that you reside. And so for me, I wouldn't flat out say, oh yeah, they are not competing. I would say at this point, it looks very likely they won't compete, because the minister has come out to make a statement, and we still wait to see or hear what the Football Federation
but if they do
has
not
to
compete,
compete,
rather, is there a chance that there could be a replacement? And
easily.
Is that how soon is that done? Because Nigeria is saying that they should.
No, they are out. I mean, they are out of contention.
What goes
because
into the
at the end of the day, they are from the Asia side.
Okay.
So it has to come from that confederation,
Okay.
because Iran competed in the qualifiers, in the Asian qualifiers, and they beat a couple of teams to get to the World Cup. And so if Iran say
so like they were
are
number
not
one in their group stage.
Pardon?
They were number one in their group
Yeah.
stage.
They are one of the earliest countries to qualify to the World Cup.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because of the way the Asian format is set up. So because they beat other countries to get to the World Cup, and they say possibly they won't compete at the World Cup, then those countries that they beat to qualify to the World Cup, yeah, they stand a chance of getting
to which countries
to
you
replace
do not know
them.
which countries it could be, or maybe
Well,
out of 4.
Yeah, they could organize a mini tournament, and yeah, they could use it to.
So they still have to organize a mini tournament. Why don't you just pick the second runner?
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
sorry.
they didn't just compete against just exclusively Iran, or it was, let's say Iraq. No, Iraq have already qualified to the World Cup. Let's say Syria. Syria just didn't compete against Iran the whole time. Other countries also competed against Iran, so we should level the playing field.
So they might have to go through that cycle again.
Yeah, more or less. So that's how it should shake out. But later in March, the playoff for the various continents or confederations, it has already been set up. So we know that DR Congo is representing CAF, which is Africa, and they will take on the winner of the matchup between Suriname, Suriname and I believe New Caledonia. New Caledonia represents Oceania, the New Zealand, Fiji, and those countries. And so the winner of that tie will meet DR Congo. Once you're able to determine the winner,
so one of them will go
of that particular tie, then the winner progresses to the World Cup. And so yeah, that's how it will shake up later this month. But for Ghana, we've already qualified, so we'll be playing friendly games. So we are going to play against Austria on 27th March, and we'll be playing against Germany on 30th March, which is a big deal. And these are very good friendly games for the Black Stars in preparation for the World Cup. And so, yeah, that's a little bit on the World Cup.
So with this now, do you think it can actually also influence other countries that do not support the, war?
Well, it could influence them, but I don't believe that it will get them to the point where they will withdraw from the competition. Because at the end of the day, Iran has a lot of sympathizers and countries empathizing with them, and saying that, yeah, they stand with them and all. But I don't think it's gotten to the extent where it would affect them so much that they will withdraw from the competition. Iran are getting directly affected by all the tensions that is going on.
The families are involved.
Yeah, exactly. So how then do you go out there and play football in the same country that just blasted your grandma or your grand-auntie somewhere? It's very delicate. And so it's very likely they will withdraw from the competition. But now nothing super official has been set yet. These issues, they are very touchy, they are very delicate. So unless there is an official statement from the right body or institution, I can't say officially they've withdrawn, because at the end of the day, it is the Minister of Sports that spoke. Yes, it's true. He is a person of immense influence. But at the end of the day, the final decision that will be recognized by FIFA, it has to come from the Football Federation of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
All right.
And they haven't said anything yet as of now.
What about ticket sales? How are ticket sales going?
Ticket sales, it took a bit of a hit.
Yeah.
Because of the way it was projected. I mean, the communication was terrible, that they were overly priced. A lot of fans will be priced out of being able to participate or be part of the competition. And yeah, the PR around it wasn't great. And so ticket sales slumped a bit, to the point where now they're even reducing ticket prices to encourage people to, get back in the groove and also be embracing the World Cup spirit, particularly when it comes to the US.
So do you think the US politics has
played a role?
Influence?
Oh yeah, I mean, most definitely.
Because we heard some people were like, no, if this is what's going to happen, we're not buying it anymore.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, even before this Iranian tensions, I mean, the fact that Donald Trump was right in the thick of things, it didn't sit well with people. So people, now the divide is so sharp, like either you are with Trump or you're against Trump. There's no in between. And so a lot of people that weren't for Trump, they were lukewarm.
There's no interest.
Their interest was lukewarm. And then you had this tensions or war coming up, definitely pushed them aside. So a lot of the, people aren't too interested, especially when it comes to the ticket sales. you don't have issues with Mexico because Mexico has a brilliant soccer culture
I was about asking
or football
that
culture.
if the venue for the games or for Iran could be changed to Mexico. Is it
Or Mexico to Canada. I think.
Wow. At this point, I because of logistical challenges,
it can't.
No, I don't see it happening.
It'll be too late.
Yeah, it'll be too late because Mexico have their own issues, their security issues with drug cartels and all that. So they will be committing a lot of resources to security to ensure that no problems come up.
Of Canada.
Then you go and bring in Iran. You mess it up. You make things a little bit too much. You stretch it too much.
Sports.
Then when you go to Canada, I mean, Canada is very likely, they can receive them. I mean, facility-wise, they are cool. But at the end of the day, they also have their issues with Trump and the United States. Yeah, back in the day, they were brothers, like hand in hand. But these days, they have their own tensions to the extent that even Trump threatened that they could take over Canada, more or less. And so they also have their issues. So I don't see it happening. I honestly do not see it happening. So before I go, a lot of things happened yesterday. Early morning yesterday in the NBA. We don't normally talk about NBA much, but a major record was recorded. Yes, Bam Adebayo. Yeah, he's American, but obviously he has Nigerian descent.
Chris yesterday whether he relates.
To Adebayo.
He's of Nigerian descent.
He said, if he relates to Adebayo.
Oh no. Yeah, he's of Nigerian descent, but he's American and he plays for the Miami Heat. And early yesterday he scored 83 points in their win over the Washington Wizards. And that is the second most points scored in the history of the NBA. Prior to Adebayo's feat, it was Kobe Bryant who held the record. He has scored 81 points way back in 2006, and that was against the Toronto Raptors. But the all-time record belongs to Will Chamberlain, and he scored 100 points in a game. 100 points.
That was like 1962.
That was in the 1960s. And back in the day, he was 7'1". Most of the players in the NBA were short. They weren't athletic.
He was a giant.
Yeah, he was a giant. He was an anomaly. And so, he scored 100 points in one particular game, and that's the record.
Why would he be tormenting people like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was just big. He was just freakishly big. And, later that day, that was yesterday, a lot of big things happened in the Champions League. And look, the English clubs...
yesterday, my area was roaring.
Yeah, the English clubs haven't fared too well in the first leg of the round of 16 stage in the Champions League. Look, Arsenal drew with Bayer Leverkusen. It's not the worst result, but it's not the best result either, considering Arsenal's level and Bayer Leverkusen's level. Then you had Tottenham Hotspur. They lost by 5-2 to Atletico Madrid. Then you had Liverpool. Liverpool lost to Galatasaray by 1-0. Then you had Manchester City. They went all the way to Spain, and they got hammered by 3-0 by Real Madrid. And so, the English clubs, they didn't fare too well. And Chelsea too.
Yesterday I was somewhere I could hear Vinicius.
Vini. He missed a penalty in that game against Manchester City. It could have easily been 4-0 against Man City. But Vinicius Junior's penalty was saved by Donnarumma, the Man City goalkeeper. And then you had Chelsea, the Blues. They played in France. They traveled to France to play against the defending champions, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, and they lost by 5-2. And as at the 74th minute, it was 2-2. It was 2-2 as at the 74th minute, and Chelsea conceded 3 goals. Boom, 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 within 60 minutes. And they ended up losing by 5-2.
But they didn't go prepared.
Oh, they weren't prepared, but lack of concentration. Lack of concentration. I think they thought that they had more or less done the job, because you go away to the defending champions of the Champions League, you get 2 goals. It's the 74th, 75th minute, 2-2. You've scored the away goals. You know that just a single goal when you return to Stamford Bridge, and you are through to the quarterfinals. And I think it crept into the minds of the players, and their concentration dropped off a little bit. And the next thing you know, boom, 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 they concede 3 goals in 16 minutes.
It was sad.
Yeah, and that was all she wrote. And so the English clubs didn't fare too well in the Champions League round of 16 first leg. And so we'll see what happens in the second leg. That takes place next week, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. So we'll see how things pan out in that particular one. So yeah, that's the wrap on sports.
It's always been interesting having you on set to talk sports and also for us to also discuss what is happening in and around the world of sports and all that. This is how we wrap up today's edition of Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 TV. I'm Philip Latte.
And my name is Chris Carter. I remember that Jude Duncan started the show. Anyway, thank you for joining us and see you tomorrow right here, same time, 7 a.m. for Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV.
Ago.